Hello and welcome to the next episode of Joe Martin Show. Today I'm here with Mr. Q. So can you guys give yourself an introduction?
Oh, I'm Mana.
I'm Rico.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Bobby.
So this is another band. I'm glad I was able to get you guys because like usually I do solo acts, and because it's easy to schedule with one person, but then when it's a full band, I mean it gets much harder, especially like the older you get. I mean it's hard to get everybody together. So what's your history in terms of being together, like Mr. Q? Like how did that start?
So we are actually siblings. Me and Cody are twins. So since birth, and then Bobby was in band with Cody in high school. And so they were, I don't know if they were like friends, but definitely acquaintances. And then I saw Bobby at one of the band concerts, like during one of their jazz performances. And then when we ended up starting the band, we're like, oh, we need a drummer. Like, oh, Cody, why don't you ask Bobby? And then that's how we came to be.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what instruments did you guys start off with in the beginning? Because you said you were in like a marching band, or what kind of band was it?
Yeah, I was in the marching band, but like originally my first instrument was the piano.
The piano.
But then when I joined band in 6th grade, I played the saxophone from 6th grade to my senior year of high school. But now I picked up the guitar my senior year of high school, and it's just been ongoing.
And what about you? Like, so how did you guys meet again? Was it through like marching band, or was it just school and in general? Or?
No, it was definitely through marching band. I not even a marching band. Like even a marching band, we kind of didn't run in the same crowd, but like we kind of just like started bumping into each other. You know, friend of a friend, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, so he played saxophone. I'm just a drummer all around.
Are you a crazy person or no?
Am I a crazy person?
Because typically the drummers tend to be the kind of the wild people.
Depends on the person you ask. Depends on who you ask for that question.
Because typically percussionists, they have that rowdy behavior.
Depends on the day.
Depends
Depends on the day. But yes, I think I can be that rowdy, crazy person.
What about you two? Like, because you guys all started with piano, but like, what instruments did you actually like grab towards, like actually wanting to play?
So we grew up choir kids, right?
Yeah.
You can go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So, like, we're Asian, so like, our mom like forced us to do piano lessons, like for me up until high school. So like from the time I was like 4 to 18. But Rico's definitely like a better piano player than I am. So he's very piano, Cody's very guitar, and then I'll just like fill in whatever instrument they need me to do for whatever song. So like sometimes I'll do guitar, sometimes I'll do piano, but I'm like very far from the level that they both play at.
Yeah, so I also ended up doing piano until my senior year of high school. But like that was like more like classically trained. So it's not the piano that I play as of now. Yeah. Because that type of piano I probably picked up maybe like 2 years ago, like more on the jazz side of it.
What made you switch?
One of my directors, our accompanist, Dr. Guzman, he was just teaching me these chords and stuff. And then like also being in choir with a bunch of like choir nerds and stuff.
Oh my God.
We were like super addicted to like these chord structures or like clashes. It was just, we geeked out all the time. So that ended up just like turning into like stuff. And then it ended up like just like finding new chords and stuff. Yeah, that's how it came to be.
Okay, sorry, but I just set this almost fell, so making sure it can work.
Oh, yes.
I think we should still be good. Yeah, we should be good.
Okay.
And you mentioned earlier that you started off with church, and I'm noticing that that's been like a lot of musicians I've been talking to had that history where they started off with church and then eventually they switched into like secular music. Even with like popular bands. I mean, there's a band from Santa Rosa and it's nearby, a group called Signo, very popular band.
Oh wait,
have you heard them?
I think I know.
Yeah. My buddy's dad was the the hand drummer for them.
Yeah, they actually started off with church music and then they eventually switched over to like conjunto music or they're crazy. They're crazy good, and they're one of the popular bands from here right now. That it's exciting that. So like, how did that background play with like how did that background like affect your music and what I'm trying to say basically is like I know you guys have already mentioned it, but like the music on Spotify does sound like Christian music or like Disney music. So like, how much influence did that have like in your music?
A huge part of it, actually. So, Christian music and Filipino music, I would say, is very similar in terms of like things that like come in Christian music and Filipino music. So like huge build-ups, I would say. That's probably like the most noticeable thing. So we get that a lot in our music, and I want to say in almost every one of our songs, we at least have like one huge build-up at the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because even Adrian with the Creative Keeps, he kind of mentioned that too. Like, also, I'm not the only one who noticed that. I'm like, I guess not.
Yeah, no, like I was telling you earlier, like it definitely wasn't on purpose. But you know, when that's like the kind of the kind of music you listen to all the time.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of music like you like, it ends up showing in whatever you create. So definitely wasn't an accident, but it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah.
No, it's not a bad thing. So like in terms like going down the road, like in terms of your sound, like who creates the basis of your sound?
Oh, so I like to say I'm like the emo kid of the group, but I like write all the lyrics and then.
I'm more of the one that like has like the bigger picture of it. So like of course I'll like put like the piano part of it, and then I'll like throw in like, oh, like make it sound more like this. I want this to sound like a train, or I want this to like have more color or something like that. And
I'm usually the one who like starts it off.
Starts
like,
it off
with like a guitar riff or like a really pretty chord progression. Then I'll reach out to my brother and my sister, and I'll be like, "Oh, how do you feel about this chord progression? Do you like it?" And then they get ideas from like what they feel or like what the theme of it should be.
Yeah.
And like it just starts from there. And then of course like you find other guitar riffs and like ad libs and stuff later.
Oh, I
What
mean,
about you, drummer?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of just come in and play. I mean, it's just because like these guys, you know, they all grew up together, right? They all grew up listening to the same music. Not me, man. I mean, I grew up listening to like 60s, 70s rock, all that kind of stuff, all the classic stuff, and all the classics. And I was just like, so I come in here, and then I'm somewhat trained in like jazz drumming. So then I have like the classic rock in my head and the jazz drumming in my hands, and then these guys have like the Christian Filipino music in their hearts and heads, and then they bust out like what they're playing in their hands, and then so it's kind of just like we're not on the same wavelength, but we're right in the same wave. You know
how do you
what I
guys
mean?
like work that like the conflicts out? Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure like you have different styles, so like how do you make that work together?
I think that's what makes us so unique is that it's not much of like a conflict resolution thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a assimilation type thing where we're kind of just we're gonna put it together, and it's gonna make our sound.
That's nice. Like, that's how all of you guys feel, or
yeah, and like over time we just ended up feeling each other's groove. Just like a family, like you don't like, you know, like limits on like, oh, like we can't say that. So we like try to stay within each other's limits, like music wise. Going back to the songwriting stuff, it all just depends on like who touches the song first. So if Cody touches the song first, it's a guitar riff. Me, it's like maybe like one line that I wrote, and then I'll ask my sister if she can just finish the song.
yeah.
And then my sister, she usually like,
So she's the songwriter, or
mostly she's like the lyrics part of it, but she'll like write a whole song very like broken down, and then me and Cody are the ones to like paint it.
Yeah, because like I told you, like I'm not as like skilled like musically, so like all my songs are like the same 4 chords, like the same 5 chords, and then I'll be like, hey, like I wrote this whole song, like I'm really shy. Like I get shy like showing my brother songs for some reason, but I'm like, hey, like I wrote this whole song. It like sounds kind of it sounds kind of basic. Like spice it up a little bit because they're very much like jazzy people. And Bobby too. Like he'll like add like a country like beat to it if he feels it's right. But yeah, like for a lot of our songs, like it starts off with like me writing like a 4 chord song, and they'll make it into what
do you
it
guys
is.
like plan to like record those songs as well? Because I only noticed on Spotify only had like 2 songs, I believe.
Yeah, it just because we don't know how to record ourselves. We tried doing it before, like with our first song ever.
Yeah.
we actually have like 3 songs out. The first one that we recorded is called Better Together, but that's only on SoundCloud. But if you like look at the production of it,
Yeah, it's
just
not good. It's very much
terrible.
like, not that GarageBand is bad, but it's like very GarageBand.
Okay. No, but still, I mean, it still shows like your progression from like starting off to like to this point right now. So I mean,
Oh yeah, but that's because we like ended up working with producers, so like we just play, and they're the ones that like put it all into the system and make it sound really pretty.
yeah.
So yeah, but it does get super expensive over time, especially because like we're also like really picky with our stuff, so we'll always choose to go back to the studio and then like track for more hours, and tracking is sometimes is like it could be like $25 an hour, sometimes it could be $50 an hour, just
Which
depends.
you know it's fair. Like
Yeah,
fair.
it's fair for
it's
them.
fair.
Yeah.
It's just like for us, it was like really expensive, so that's like the main reason why we only have 2 songs out. Is just because it's like so expensive. So
That makes sense.
we're
Okay,
hoping like next time we'll learn how to do it ourselves,
And
or
then
just
just
like
send it
save up a
in.
bunch and then do a bunch at the same time.
That makes sense because I know a lot of musicians here in the valley, like they're also like they produce their music, they perform it and everything because I guess because part of it is expensive, and then musicians don't tend to make a lot of money here. From what I noticed, like it's rough. Like it's bad enough being a solo act, but then to have a full band and get enough payments for everybody. I heard that it's kind of tough out here because I mean the valley it's not Austin, it's not San Antonio, it's not Dallas, it's
it's the valley.
the valley. But that's why I hope like it moves forward because there's a lot of talent here, obviously. But like I hope like through the podcast and other people who are like helping out musicians, like I hope it pushes the valley forward because again, there's a lot of talent and not everybody can like move out to Austin or any other place. I mean, some people are gonna be here and so how has it been for you guys in terms of gigging? Like how do you guys do that?
With gigs.
Yeah, like with gigs.
She's usually the one. She's the
I
one who
She does everything in
mean, yeah,
one.
like if I just see like a cool place or like I know somebody that gigs at that place, I'll just like message them and be like, "Hey, we make music. If you want, like, we'd love to play for you guys." And that's how most of our gigs end up being. And then we've had like some people ask us, but for the most part, like we just like to play, and so it's just very much like a passion of ours to play, even if we don't like necessarily like get paid or anything.
And also recently we've had a couple gigs in Houston.
I saw that.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys went over there to Houston.
There's a really big Filipino community over there.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was wondering because I saw Paolo leave, I saw Nicole leave, and I saw there like others that I know, like they all took off to Houston. I'm like, what's going on? I believe it was during spring break, right?
Oh, that was
Oh, that
because
was-
of FSA.
Oh, okay.
We had like a huge competition.
Okay, that explains.
Yeah, so I saw your interview with Paolo, and yeah, so we just compete like sports and a bunch of dances. So we were all up there for that.
Oh, okay.
It was really cool. But like for us, we like the Filipino community over there is just like helping us out, like open up for like some artists that were like big in the Philippines, like in the past. And like there's a restaurant over there called Jerry's Grill, which is like mainly like a lot of Filipinos go there.
Yeah.
So we play there. And I think that's it so far, but we definitely want to try other places in Houston too.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Where a lot of people from here, like, they tend to go to other parts of Texas because it's tough out here. Like I feel bad saying that because like there's musicians I know who they grew up here in the valley, but they don't get that support. And other places like San Antonio, like venues over there, like they'll literally pay for their hotels. Like come over here, perform over here. They treat them well, and then over here it's like, oh well, like they don't even want to pay you, or sometimes they want to like lowball you basically. And I'm like, have you guys experienced that here, or you guys don't need to name the venues because I don't want you guys burning bridges or anything like that. But like, has that happened to you guys where they?
Well, we actually like don't really look for like the payment in gigs. I guess we really just like play like because we want to play. We've never really like sought for we need to get paid this time or something like that. We just really enjoy playing.
It's just out of passion. Okay, you guys are lucky then.
Yeah, we haven't had like any experiences like that. So yeah, we're very lucky.
I'm happy for you guys because whenever like I talk with others, I'm like, that's sad.
Yeah.
So like, what do you guys like besides music? What other hobbies do you guys have? I guess you can go like this, like, from over here to over here.
I mean, really nothing much, honestly. It's just music for me, gym. That's it. That's all my life is.
I just became a barista.
Yeah. I know the coffee's it's great. You can give them a shout out if you want.
Oh, it's Sovereign Coffee. If you don't know what that is, it's the best coffee here in the valley. Maybe in Texas. I don't know. It's up to your judgment. But personally, I really like it. I'm really glad.
I really
that I
like
work
it too.
there.
Me too.
Only if you make it though.
Yeah, if you come up to me and you say you watch this podcast, I'll literally give you a free coffee.
Oh my gosh. Bold claim, bold claim.
Oh my god.
What makes coffee like this? Their coffee is so great for you. Like, what is it? What makes good coffee good coffee?
Well, like there's a process called dialing in your coffee, and like if you can dial in properly, and like if your palate is like at that level, it'll be good for you. You know, like.
What about you?
I recently got into thrifting. So, especially because we started playing at a lot of pop-up markets. So we saw a bunch of like vintage, small business people like go over there and like sell their stuff. And then I ended up like, oh, why don't I just like go check out the thrift store or go to Goodwill? So that's something that I recently got into.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I feel like I have like something. I'm like one of those people that has like an obsession for like 2 seconds and then moves on. So, like recently I bought this like crochet Harry Potter like little doll thing. So I feel like I'm gonna try to learn crochet. But other than that, like I just do whatever. I also like going to like all the small business pop-ups. So like I try to go like every other week to one of those, just like show support. And I just like love all the people that all like the small business people.
They tend to be the ones who support you guys the most, like musicians. Like I always see that where when it comes to like pop-up markets, like they're the ones who like really support musicians. I don't know why, like what specifically about them attracts to you guys, but like you guys know what that is or no? Because
like
it's really
specifically to us or musicians?
Just musicians in general. Because I noticed that a lot of pop-up markets have musicians and they like really support you guys compared to like other venues, I guess.
I think
I think. Oh yeah.
I think it's because like they know what it's like to be out there and like trying to get people's attraction. So they're like, hey, I know where you're at. Like, let me help you out, and then you can help us out. So you're gonna bring in your customers. I'm gonna bring you customers. Yeah, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but not in like a malicious or anything. Like you do this for me, I'll do.
Oh
this
no.
for you.
Yes,
I think
that's exactly how it is. It's a mafia.
We just like both value support. So I think that's why.
No, that makes sense because I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, like you guys would like help each other out in terms of like actually being out there. Because I mean, it's one thing having your small business in a like it's like in a location and then moving around. I mean, that's basically like touring for them, like those pop-up markets. Have you guys like out of curiosity, because I know like SpaceX has gotten involved here in Brownsville. Have they ever gotten involved with the music scene here or no? Like
SpaceX. The only thing I know is that
because I know they've been doing some sponsorships lately.
I'm not sure. I just know Elon Musk visited El Hueso.
Oh yeah. I was seeing that.
recently
I was seeing all the memes because he bought Twitter recently.
Yeah. So that's all I know so far. But and I know like they get like some some of our local schools like their like show choirs to like go perform over there at SpaceX. Elon wasn't there though.
Yeah, because I remember there's a guy named it was David. I'm not sure you guys know who David Gutierrez is.
With
He plays like a lot
David
of country
and
music.
the Atom Cats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like I think he was mentioning that he was like doing like a pop-up market at SPI, and then eventually like they asked him like, hey, like, do you guys want to stay like an hour longer because SpaceX employees are going to be coming over here and they'll like pay you guys.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so I thought like maybe like that's a common thing, I guess, around here where they keep it kind of on a down low, but like they'll tell you, hey, stay an hour later and we'll pay you.
Oh, I haven't heard that. That's
I have
cool.
not heard that.
Oh, okay. So I was just curious. And this is more out of curiosity, but like, what made you guys come to Brownsville like here? Because I noticed like the Filipino community, like they tend to be a lot of them, and tend to be in Edinburgh, I think, or like in other parts like Mission or Sherland. How did you guys like arrive to Brownsville?
I think just anywhere you go, you're gonna find a Filipino community, and Filipinos just love each other, and it's just like you will always like. I think like a common thing is like every Filipino knows like every Filipino here. Like,
Yeah.
you see a Filipino, you ask them like, "Oh, I know this Filipino. Like,
Yeah.
do you know them too?" Of course.
Yeah, I was curious because that also happened with when I first met Paulo. I was talking about another person I had met, which was her name was what's her name, Colleen, I think, and she worked for the Monitor, and like basically everybody knew each other because the Filipino community knows each other. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess everybody knows each other, or is it just because of FSA or
No, so for us, like me and Cody, especially because we started going over there to Edinburgh, we don't really know the Filipinos in other cities. Recently, kind of, but we usually just stick within our own cities for Filipinos.
Oh, okay. I was curious about that because I'm like everybody knows each other, and I mean part of it is because of Valley Small. I mean, we're our own little bubble compared to like other parts of Texas, which I think probably adds to the struggle we have because San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, again, like all those areas are connected, but the valley's so far away from like even Corpus Christi. It's like a giant farmland, so like we're physically separate. We're closer to Mexico than the rest of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for like first generation like Filipinos, like when they come to a place where there's like no Filipinos, they really like look for that sense of community. So I think that's why like it ends up being like the kids know each other because like the adults like really sought out. So like for my mom, for example, like whenever like a new Filipino family comes, especially like a couple, like maybe like 10 years ago, like they would really make an effort to like kind of incorporate them into our community because they know like what it's like to like be in a country and they don't know anybody. So I think that's why like the Filipino community is like so close down here in the valley.
What about you? So like how has it been for you? Because I mean like, you know, I'm not saying I don't mean different in a bad way, obviously, but like how has it been for you? Like,
No, honestly, I
I don't want to make this awkward.
No. Let's see. I guess I don't know if I can say this without being like bad, but no, I tell them like all the time, like you guys are like the Asian Mexicans, like seriously.
That's what. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Like because it's just like you walk it, like you don't expect like they just like for me personally, they just welcome me into their family like that, man. Like
Yeah.
they were just super welcoming, super nice. Like I consider these guys my closest friends. So I mean, their family's super nice, and the community here is just like they're tios and tias that like I have no idea who they are, and they see me, they're like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hi, you're so cool."
No, yeah, they're very welcoming.
Yeah, it's a really welcoming, warm community.
Yeah, because the first time like when I met Paulo, like his mom literally bought us dinner. I'm like,
Yeah, no, for real.
and I was like, I'm just here just for the interview. I'm like,
No,
no,
it's
like,
that kind of thing where it's like, okay, cool.
yeah, I'm like, oh, well, I guess so. I guess I'll stay longer. And I didn't leave like till like one in the morning because we were just hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I enjoy it. I mean, it's good because I mean the Hispanics are the same way. Like once you talk to us, you know, we'll invite you to like the carne asada and all that stuff.
Yeah,
The barbecues.
it's the abuelita thing kind of going on.
Yeah. So I think it's because we have like a similar culture. That's why when Paulo, like, not to get too dark into the topic, but like that's why it surprised me when he talked about racism because our culture is so similar. I'm surprised that they would treat you guys differently. Like, have you guys experienced that yourself? Like, I guess racism in the valley here or no?
Not that not in a way that it bothered me growing up, but that's because I was like raised, like I was born in the Philippines, but I was raised here. So like the little like comments about me like being Asian or like about like my eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that was offensive growing up, but that's because that's all I knew. And also like, I liked being Filipino, like and like kind of like in a different way. So I almost appreciate it, but I didn't take it in a negative way. Like maybe now,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. I mean, there was like this one time we were at the movie theater, but this was really recently though. Yeah, we like all went to go watch Shang-Chi.
Oh no!
Oh, I don't know if you were there, Bobby.
Nah.
Was it Shang-Chi? I think we were watching Shang-Chi. And then like people were like throwing popcorn at us.
For real?
And I was like, you guys are really gonna like bully the Asians, the only Asians in this movie theater
About the
watching
Asian
like
movie?
an Asian movie. Like, what the heck is that?
They can't let you guys have a moment.
Yeah, so like that was like
Jesus.
the only thing. But other than that, like I've never like felt othered by the community here.
That's why I found it surprising because I mean your cultural so same. Like even with Christianity, I mean, not everybody, like not all of you guys are like Catholics, but I mean that's like a big thing here in the valley. So I'm like, I'm very surprised that you would get treated differently. And plus, I mean, like in the Hispanic community, there's like memes where there's a meme specifically says every Mexican has that friend who looks Asian, and that's why I'm like surprised because we have like
For real. For real.
yeah, like we have people like Mexicans who look like Asian or black or two. Like, so I'm not surprised that they would treat you guys so differently. Because I mean, even our skin tone, like it's similar. Like I don't know. I'm kind of like surprised by that a lot. So I mean, I hope that improves because I mean that's
Yeah, everybody's
weird.
experience like is different, so I don't doubt that some people have experienced that. But as far as like me, I don't know about Rico and Cody. I don't think like we've.
you seem like you want to say something because you're looking around a lot.
Me?
You
Yeah,
yes
like-
you because your eyes are like darting
Oh,
around.
I mean, like
is he okay?
personally, like I also don't mind it. Like
Yeah.
it like feels really nice to be different from like everybody else. Like
'Cause,
that's
like-
how I like to be.
Because you could also flip it around where like now everything that's Asian is really popular. I mean, you have K-pop, K-dramas. So like you guys, Asians are basically the in thing right now.
Oh yeah,
Has that
it's
affected you guys as
definitely
well or no?
popping
Like
off
that's
right
that's the
now.
more positive side of it though.
Yeah, I think this also like feeds onto the we like being different. We love like sharing our culture. I think one of our original goals as a band was to spread OPM music, which is OPM is just another word for Filipino music.
Oh,
It's
okay.
original Pinoy music. So we wanted to spread that in the valley because like you have like reggaeton, you have K-pop that's
Yeah.
like has gone like global.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, like why can't like Filipino music be the same? So we just ended up playing like a bunch of Filipino music, and we try our best to really share our culture with the community. Like even like coming up, Filipino Independence Day is coming up on June 12th, and since Cody's working at a coffee shop, we're like trying to like work with his coffee shop to like sell some like Filipino inspired drinks.
What kind of drinks do you guys have? Out of curiosity,
Drinks? I don't know specifically.
because like when you think of Mexican music,
flavoring.
because like when you think of Mexican drinks, you think like horchata, Jamaica, and a bunch of other stuff like that.
I mean, for us, we just have like your regular lattes, cappuccinos.
Filipino drinks.
Oh,
That's what I was saying. Like,
I thought we were
He
talking.
really wants to put that sour plug in there.
I'm thinking about coffee shops. Okay, what is the question again?
Like Filipino drinks.
like when it comes to Mexican drinks, you think of horchata, Jamaica, aguas frescas. Like, what do you guys have? Like,
We got buko,
Yeah,
we
buko
got
is just like
buko.
coconut, like buko shakes.
like young coconut. We also have
Halo halo, which is like ice and condensed milk with like ube ice cream, and then you put like a bunch,
bunch of jellies. in there.
jellies,
We have the whole
beans.
but like drinks wise that we're like trying to incorporate, it's like flavors such as like ube or pandan, which ube is just like if you're familiar with like taro,
yeah,
it's I guess like the cousin of it, very like purple root.
Oh, I would not say that. Well, I guess yeah.
no man.
Go for it.
Ube and tar are just like two different things.
They're two different.
They're two different things, and if you like think that's the same thing, like
Here comes the hipster.
you're not like.
He's canceling Rico right now.
Yeah, for real.
Oh no.
Like,
Nah.
they're basically cousins, and then it was like, no, but they're not.
Out of curiosity, and I was thinking on my phone, do you guys know about this fruit? In Mexico, it's called jacote. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it too, because it's also from the Philippines. I'm
Can I
curious.
see?
Because we were growing that tree in at our house, and it so happened to
Is it
like
like a guava?
it's kind of like guayaba, yeah, but it's called like it's more like a plum, I think. Yeah, it's weird because like
It looks familiar.
it has like giant seed in the middle, but like it doesn't really have that much flesh. Like, but when you bite it, like a bunch of juice just comes out. It's interesting. And I was just curious if you guys heard about it because I heard that it grows in the Philippines and also in Mexico, like the tropical areas.
Personally, I don't think we've like really.
Yeah, it looks familiar for
Encountered it.
sure.
I was curious. Yeah, that's just out of curiosity because I heard about it. I'm like, huh? Because I had a person stop by and a bunch of Mexicans, like from certain parts, like it's like they're from tropical areas. They talked about it, and like, oh yeah, like it's also popular in the Philippines too. So I'm like,
I'll ask my mom later.
but you have to
Get
ask their
back to
grandparents
you.
or something.
Yeah.
Probably in our regions, no, but like I'm sure in like other regions it's more popular.
And then
Yeah.
sometimes like here, like the fruits are like named different. So something that like I've known like by the name for a long time, like I'll see it here and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So maybe if it has like a Filipino name, I'll recognize the name. But just looking at it, I don't know.
All right. So in terms of what makes you guys different? Out of curiosity, because I noticed like the shoe difference. You guys have like different styles.
Oh,
From each other?
from each other.
Yeah, because like you really strike me as like someone like with country. I mean, you really have that vibe going on for you. I mean, you have
Country boy,
baseball.
I love you.
You have the cool guy type thing going on with the
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Oh.
And you're stylish. I mean, there's
What?
What sets us apart? I don't know. Actually, we actually like a lot of the same things.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
like crazy close.
We actually like
Sometimes too
all like
close.
share clothes, especially me and him. Well, he
Oh,
takes most of my
I
clothes.
like to steal his clothes.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when we go to the small business things, like we always go to like shout out to like Follow the Sun, who else? That's Fire,
Fire.
Vintage,
Cherry
Cherry
Vintage,
Vintage, Cloudy
Lazarus.
Cove. Like literally like all of the clothes that we get there, like if they buy it, if one of them buys it, like I know that's eventually coming to my closet and vice versa. So I think we like they're definitely like better dressers and put more effort into it.
he said yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
No, I have like at least 2 of Rico's polos in my closet too.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, we're just like they just love clothes. But as far as like other stuff, I think I'm very introverted until like towards the end of the night. Like I have like a very low social battery, and I think they're like, or I think like you're almost like exact opposite.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you have that appearance where like you seem to like go out a lot, like extroverted. You have that vibe.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like we're like very much the same, but we all kind of like grew up apart. One, my sister is like a lot older than us, so like
Not that much older.
Dang.
Jeez.
That was harsh.
yeah. So like friend group wise, like it's different. Me and Cody, yes, we're twins, but we did not grow up in the same friend group either. He's
Yeah.
a band kid. I'm a choir kid. Our mom separated us since preschool.
What separates you nerds apart?
Yes. Please have this conversation.
I'm like,
What separates band from choir?
Please
oh,
have this
that.
conversation.
Yeah,
Oh, band versus choir.
yeah.
We literally had
Okay,
this conversation.
we're choir and
Close.
they're band.
Past-
So.
We're choir.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go off, guys.
Let's-
Like I'll fight you.
Let's make a wall.
Honestly, I think I'm like the most qualified to speak on this.
Okay.
So like, okay. So one thing about band kids is they're like in like, so both are really weird, right?
Yeah.
But band kids,
No,
Band
we,
kids
yeah,
are-
we
I
can
agree.
say that.
I
We can say
agree with that. I
band
agree with
kids
that.
are weird. Like, oh no, yeah. Like, okay, so like these past 2 years I've been in choir and I've been in band since like 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I've experienced like both worlds. So for one thing, like band kids are weird, but they're just very like no filter. Like if they're around another like normal person, like they would be like, did you seriously just say that?
Yeah.
Like half the stuff band kids say would probably get them canceled.
Yeah.
But the thing with band kids though is they can go from saying like stuff that will get them canceled and most likely put in jail to being like super serious business on a dime.
Yeah.
Like those guys can flip the switch super fast.
Because in marching band you kind of have to be like
And
that. Yeah.
that's exact-
I know,
'cause you-
I know what you mean.
Because you walk on the field and it's like you're like trying to like laugh it off,
Yeah.
relax. And then when the show starts, and
Yeah.
you just got to keep going. The choir kids, they're very more. I think choir kids are very more like personal, very more like interconnected. Like whereas band, it's kind of like it's like a football thing where it's like even if I don't like you, I'm gonna have to put up with you.
Yeah.
But
Because like band is a family.
Yes.
Band is definitely a family.
it's very much like that. But choir kids is more of like it's like a loving family. Where band is just like a yes, this is my family kind of thing.
Like a dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
dysfunctional
dysfunctional family that
Yeah.
is like, you're my brother, but I really don't like talking to you.
Because even the area section tends to have like their own personalities.
Oh,
and for me, I was always with the percussionists, and they were
Yeah.
always the loudest ones.
Oh, that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
We're still very loud. But I generally think the choir kids get more sentimental
Mhm.
a lot of the times. They get a lot more deep, but they're very how can I say that? They're very like caring though.
Oh, okay.
They're so caring.
So they're
and
deeper into their emotions, I guess.
and they will like where band kids will be like, oh yeah, like they'll mess around with you, but like they have like the inner wall.
Yeah.
Not choir kids, man. They will be like, oh come on, let's just like super emotional and deep, and it's like, whoa, it's not ready for that one, man.
No, yeah, I
Oh,
get you.
yeah. We get into the soul.
Yeah,
of
no,
choir.
seriously.
And that's probably why you're in choir, because so that you need that soul.
Yeah, I got into choir because I was just following my sister's footsteps.
What
To
can
be
I say?
honest,
I'm a trendsetter.
That's what's up.
No, but I love choir. I
love
definitely agree.
choir.
That definitely wasn't verses. I thought you were gonna diss us, Bobby.
No, no. Like,
Thanks to Bobby for.
He's been nice.
no,
Yeah.
literally, choir like changed my whole high school perspective. Like, I'm not gonna lie, freshman year, I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna do that
Yeah.
choir stuff. No way, man. But then you get in there and it's like the directors are awesome, the kids are awesome. Like, I remember like one of my first weeks there, like they put me on the spot and I totally messed it up. And like if that happened in band, oh man, you would hear about that for months. But like they're there for you no matter what. They got your back. Like joining choir was probably like one of the best decisions in high school.
No, yeah, I get you because like because before in middle school I was in football,
Yes.
and then like after a while, and I saw like some people get injured. Like some guy, Adrian, he got tackled and like this bone like just popped out.
Oh, I've seen those.
So that happened. I'm like, you know what? I've been out of football. So yeah, like, I don't want to mess up. So after a while, like, I was in ag. I was in woodworks. And eventually, some of my friends were like, "Hey, you should join band. You should join band." I'm like, "I'm not gonna join you nerds." I mean,
Yeah.
But then, like, once I joined band, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like, it was actually really fun, and you get to experience something different because besides watching the football games on Friday, which I mean,
Oh man.
because I mean, La Villa's a small town. Like, football gets the entire community together. So I mean, we're a football town, and then being part of band, I mean, you get to have that experience with like other people. Like, I mean, some people never join extracurricular activities, so like their school day ends as soon as school ends. But with band, it's all around.
Your school starts in July.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that you guys also experienced that too, where it's
yeah.
a full-time thing. It's not
Did
just
you ever like see like football season as marching band season or football season?
football season.
Yeah, it is football season, but like, okay, honestly, it depended how good the football season was going. Like, if they're winning, it's like, yo, this is football season. I'm trying to watch this game. I'm not trying to play stand tunes. But if it's a bad season, then it's like, let's play, man. Like, people are watching the band, not you.
Yeah.
We're better than this.
Yeah, because I saw on one of the Spirit shirts like
Oh no,
like
I
it's
hate that
like
shirt.
What
football
happened?
season crossed
No,
out.
it says
like it's marching band
It says
season.
it's football season, and then it has the football season crossed out, and it says marching band season in big bold
I
red
was like,
letters.
oh.
I was like,
no.
that's disgusting.
no.
Your ass gets to get bullied.
Yeah, I know, for real. But it's like, it's worse because it's like the moms, So because
Yeah.
they're like, yes, my kid's in marching band.
Yeah, like,
no,
Ma,
stop.
no.
No,
stop
but
it,
like
cut it
once
off.
you're in fine arts, like you feel so cool.
Yeah.
Like when as a choir kid, like yes, like in society, like choir kids are like kind of like on the lower tier.
Yeah.
But, like when you're like, well, for me, I felt so cool being a choir kid.
Oh.
And like my friends were so cool. Like I was just like on top of the world.
And I'm not even gonna lie, like in high school, I thought he was so cool. Like I see him walking in the halls, and it's like you think it's like Brown Jesus or something.
Oh my god.
Like I see him walking, I'm like, man, he's so great.
Would you guys get bullied in school though, like for like being the band or choir nerds? No. Because I mean, like there's always that stereotype where the band kids tend to get bullied. Because I mean, like, oh.
Well, I mean, I was a drummer, so I think it's different. I don't know about Cody.
Yeah, I was never bullied.
But just because you're cool, that's why. Like you're just chill.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
nobody like really like falls into that stereotype. Like, oh, I mean, of course, like in the back of their mind, like, oh, but he's a band kid. But like if you like actually get to know them, like I think nowadays,
Like everybody has their own crowd now too.
Yeah, I
And
think that makes sense
you don't,
because-
like,
Yeah. No, sorry. You could go on.
I know, like I don't know. I don't really see bullying. If anything, it's like bullying in the crowd, but like
100%.
not being a band kid, but like being like ridiculous or something.
No, I agree because like with our marching band, I mean, the cool ones were always the drummers because we would like talk with the football players and we'll talk with the cheerleaders. So we always had that thing going on. But there was always a couple of weirdos, which were the anime kids, where they were with the Naruto headband and
Oh god.
they would do the run. And I'm like,
no, but nowadays, like those people are like kind of cool.
Yeah, people who watch
Some of
I think
them
people
are,
who watch
some of them
anime
are.
cool.
Okay, like the anime, the people who watch it, yeah, but like the fandom,
the fandoms.
Okay, the fandom, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little much.
It's a little excessive. When it's
But-
excessive, when it's like okay, then like all right, yeah, you're cool, man. Like I watch anime too, but
Yeah.
it's like when
But
you're
it's a little
excessive,
more like acceptable.
yeah, it
Some-
it
yeah.
is a little more acceptable.
Now it is, but back then, I mean, some of them were like crazy. I'm like,
And also like band kids, I think I've seen that like they're like they're in the in crowd nowadays. Like when I was in school, and like I saw in other high schools too that band kids were the in crowd. Like they're the ones that are like always getting invited to the high school parties. They're the ones that people like try to date and stuff.
No, that's
like
that's
that.
very different from us.
I was about to say, I don't know what kind of guys you went to high school with,
It's
man.
like that's like Hannah.
Yeah, because it depends, like, because like, so I think, because in his section he had like a bunch of cross country guys,
Oh, okay.
and then I went like in middle school. I mean, I did the football thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did powerlifting in high school. So then I knew those guys, and then my other buddy, like I think we're just involved in other things. We're so like
so you weren't
involved in
like
other things.
strictly band kids, that's why, right?
Yeah,
I guess
like-
you're involved in athletics.
Yeah, a lot of us are involved in other things. If it's not athletics, it's like other groups where we know people. We have one guy, I think, the new drum major for our next year. He's like one of the top guys in baseball.
Oh,
So I mean,
Whoa.
that makes that's
Whoa.
so I mean, it's just everyone's involved in different things, and it's like, okay, I know this guy, this
Yeah.
guy's cool, this guy's cool. So I think that's where like he's getting at, like,
that makes sense because
Everyone
like
knows each other.
in our school it was separate. Like all the band kids are only in bands and the athletic kids are only in sports. You know, they're in football, baseball. Like they rotate between the sports, but they never like join bands. So like
Yeah.
there was never that cross section.
and I think even like the football players too, like the top guy in my AP Cal class, he's like one of the football captains.
Oh wow.
So I mean, it's like, dude,
that's very different. Yeah.
that is very different. I'm like, wow, you just don't expect stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like with like some of the dancers are like I think 2 or 3 dancers are in the top 10 students.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
From back then.
It's a really different world.
Yeah, and I think like also I've seen recently that people who are in sports and then ended up joining band or choir end up loving band and choir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my experience where I joined because when I was in middle school, I'm basically a mix between a jock and a nerd. But when I was in 8th grade, we're taking high school classes. So like the band, we would wait by the band hall to get like picked up from the high school back to the middle school. And our band director would like try to like tempt us because he would be playing the keyboard a lot. Like, oh, what songs do you guys like? And he would perform them. Like, well, you guys like this? Maybe you should join band. That's how he would do his pitch. And I mean, that's how he started getting like football players as well. Like but they were mostly into percussion again. I mean, the personality just makes sense.
Yes.
And so yeah, I mean, I kind of get what you guys mean. I mean, it's changing from what it was before, I guess. Like the old stereotypes are now changing.
Yeah. It's fun.
Let me move this out of the way. I feel like I'm gonna kick it right now. So what do you guys like expect from your music in terms of the future? Like, what do you guys want to do with your music? Like, what's the plan?
That's a really good question. Yeah, just continuing to share our culture and stuff like that. For us, I guess as Filipinos, like me and Cody are studying to be nurses right now. Of course, I want to get into music later in life, but I think a big thing within our culture is like making sure you have like stability within your life rather than like being
Like
reckless.
Do you guys get pressured into it a lot? Because Nicole had mentioned to me a story where like her parents were really trying to force her into like becoming a nurse because she wants to do like her financial stuff. But there's an like, like you should become a nurse or like join the medical field basically. And like to the point where like at some party they told the other family members to like tell her like, hey, don't be doing this. You just go to the medical field. Like, do your parents like pressure you guys or?
I think you can talk on that.
Oh, dang! Don't explode. Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, I don't. Anyway, yeah, I went to school like my undergrad, thinking I was gonna become a doctor, and then I graduated in 2020, and like the whole pandemic happened. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to be anywhere near that. And I think like I now I'm like doing my degree in business, but yeah, I think it's you don't have to just like be one thing. So like, and that's like the cool thing about just like life. Like if you don't feel like doing that right now, like you don't have to do that. And that's like that comes from like a place of privilege. Like I can like not be a nurse. Like for a lot of like Filipinos, like that's like the only viable thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like I didn't want to do that at that moment in time. Will I do that later? Like who knows? But at that time, or like at this time in my life, I don't feel like that was something I wanted to pursue. And like I did get like pushback a little bit, but I think like with any like supportive parents like we have, like they just like eventually like get used to the idea, and they say like if you're happy doing that, they'll
support you.
Yeah. So I'm lucky in that sense. So yeah, like there is some pushback, like there is some pressure, but I think it's just like normal. Your parents want
they want the best for you, and that's like what they understand. Like that's the most viable thing here.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like another way of saying I love you, I guess.
Yeah. So.
But in terms of like where our music is going,
yeah,
I don't know. It's up to God. We haven't really like set a goal like for our music. We're just having fun with it right now. We set our goals like very short term, like with what like let's say like we release a song, we'll set a goal for that song, not like what we could be like later on.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. You guys, so it's not like completely long term, but just like project to project, I guess, right?
Yeah, like I mean, like the whole band, like in general, it was just like a very special thing that happened, because like who would have thought like I would have come back like to Brownsville for like a long period of time after college, which like
you're planning to leave from here, or
like I'm from here, but like I went to school in Austin, so
okay.
Most people like once they like leave, they stay out there, but like I've been back for like 2 years, so it's been it's been like a special time for like us to all be at home for like an extended period. Like they go to school here. Bobby's still in high school, but yeah, so we're just like enjoying the moment while we're like all together, like we can make music, and then if that ends at some point, like we had like this cool moment.
You had the experience, yeah. What about you? Like, what was it for you growing up?
He's gonna go into his trauma.
I know, right? So back when I was 4 years old now. Honestly, it's a super. So both my parents are first generation.
Mm-hmm.
My dad studied physics. Like he went to Stanford to study physics for a while. My mom's the band director. So like she understands the whole music. Yeah, she's my band director. Well, our band director. So she understands the whole like doing what you love thing. Mm-hmm. All my sisters went to college for at least some period of time, and then so I mean my parents are very much just like, dude, just go out there and do what you want to do and be successful in it. So I'm lucky enough to this next semester I'm gonna be studying music.
Oh, you're studying music?
Yeah, at University of Miami.
What are you trying to like go for specifically in music?
Trying to make this band big. No. No. Specifically, I'm gonna be studying studio jazz performance. So basically, I'm going like they said. So according to them, our degree path like spends like a solid amount of time in the studio. So I'll be in there, hopefully learning how to record, getting better at recording. And honestly, I don't really have any like, this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's like, oh, well, what do you want to do long term? It's like, man, it's the music industry. Like 4 years ago, everyone was like, man, I just want to tour and gig. And then 2 years ago, it was like, what do you mean tour and gig? That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you just have to take it as it goes. So I'm gonna just see where it leads me, and hopefully these guys can like make it big. We'll make it big with these guys.
Maybe.
It'll be fun.
Because not to be like stereotypical, but I thought like you would go into like sports medicine or something.
Sports
like that.
medicine? Honestly, no. I do. I mean, it's interesting. I do like
the trainers.
I love the personal trainer stuff, but I mean, the music like
what made you like gravitate towards music degree?
Actually, I was really on the fence about it. Like, and honestly, these guys made me feel like 100% I'm going into music.
Yeah.
Because there was this.
It's beautiful.
There was this one time where it was like we had been together not too. I mean, it was a solid while. It was like 6-7 months, right?
Yeah.
And they had released two. They were coming up with 2 new songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them is Picture Perfect. Yeah. And then another one I think is the one we're gonna release soon.
Something went out there.
Yeah, sorry, our dogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go check on them just because.
But yeah, and then So then we got here and we were just practicing, and we played through those 2 songs, and man, just like it was me, Cody and Rico, and we were just playing through those songs and just like, looking at each other, the communication of trying to figure out how the song goes, like,
Yeah.
and then you figure out like, man, these are like our original songs, like
Yeah,
we
it
wrote
feels
these,
really good.
and then you get through the end of the song, like there is a feeling you can't explain that just like, oh my God, we just created something this freaking good, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane. And I was like, heck yeah, if I can feel this every day and get paid for it, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, by the way, what inspired you with the lyrics? Because I mean, they seem like very like hopeless romantic type thing. What inspired you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, just like past experiences, and then like I grew up watching like a lot of Filipino TV, and so like all the storylines revolve around like some romantic things.
Is it like novellas or what?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I love in the Philippines, like they call them like novellas or teleseries, but like I love that kind of stuff. And then also growing up, I listened to like Sarah Bareilles, Ingrid Michaelson.
Oh, okay.
So like basically like all love stuff. And so we actually like came back. We went to the Philippines January 2020. And so like for a lot of like Filipinos, like you don't go home for so long. Like I think we hadn't been home in like 7 years. And so like even though like we're close to, like I'd say like we're still like close to our family, like when you haven't been with like someone for like that long, like it's kind of like hard to like find what to talk about. And so like our cousins kind of showed us like Filipino music, so like they introduced to Ben and Ben, Mooney Mooney, Muerto Torre, and then like just like the way that they write about stuff, even though it's like in Tagalog, kind of like inspired me, like, oh, you can write about like these experiences. And so I think like initially like I kind of modeled my songwriting after those artists.
Oh, that makes sense. Out of curiosity, do they guys treat you differently because you come from the U.S.? Because like it's very common with the Hispanics, like where like if I go to my family in Mexico, like, oh, can you teach me English? Can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? And like the only words they ever know are like cussing words in over there. But like, do you? Yeah. Do they guys like treat you kind of different? Because like you get your experience from the U.S. and like in the Mexico, I mean, they kind of like revere that, like, oh wow, like he's from the other side. They say from el otro lado, which is from the U.S. side. Like, do they guys like treat you kind of a little bit higher because you get to be over here in the U.S.?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, like we get teased all the time about like our accent and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. But everybody over there also just speaks English too, so.
Yeah.
What makes the difference between your accents? Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, like we have like an American accent. Like I don't know if you can hear it that much when we sing, but like when we try to speak it, like we sound like basically super like whitewashed, which I mean we kind of are. Like we grew up here like our whole lives. So yeah, I think like part of us will like always kind of feel embarrassed, and I think like that's like the experience of like most like second gen kids. Like you get nervous like talking like your like native language because like people will make fun of you, but I think like it's kind of like all, at least for us, it's like it's all in good fun. So like if once you like get over that and you like make an effort to like speak or like for us like sing it, like it's not like a huge deal. They don't really like make fun of us.
Yeah, because the same thing happens over here. Like where like the younger generations, like they don't know that much Spanish. So like sometimes they see like dumb stuff like "yo no sabo" instead of "yo no sé." So like they kind of tease us about that, like, oh, like you're losing Spanish, so like learn proper Spanish, please.
Yeah.
You mentioned your first generation. What did you mean by that? Like, was it just college or like?
Yeah, my parents are like they're the first. Like their parents didn't go to college.
Oh, okay.
So, like my mom.
I
was
thought you meant
first
like
one to
coming
go to
here or
college.
something like that.
Honestly, I think my grandparents might. I think my dad's mom, she might be the first one to come over here from her family, because like she like was from like Mexico kind of stuff, like deep in the heart.
Dad?
My dad's mom, yeah, like
Oh.
no, dude, like like family history is like my dad's parents, like my grandpa is where I get all the whiteness. And then so he's Stone, but then my grandma's Martinez, and then her parents are like De Luna.
Sorry. I heard my grandpa stoned.
My grandpa's Stone.
Oh yeah, his name is Robert Stone.
Stone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like my grandfather's like all the, like the whiteness of me. But my
Yeah.
grandma's like Martinez, and then her parents are like
Same,
De Luna.
yeah.
So it's just like she gets that's where like all the Mexican stuff comes from. And like she was like her whole family was like, what are you doing going out with like this white boy? So I
Oh.
mean, yeah, so like she came over here and like she literally left her family for love. It's so cute. But I think both my grandparents on my mom's side are born and raised in Brownsville, I think.
Oh.
So I think I don't know, but they're all like just Brownsvillians.
How does it affect you? Because I mean, like when I look at you, I thought you were just like purely white.
Purely white,
Like how does it
100%.
affect you? Because you're part like white and you're also like Mexican or Hispanic.
No,
how does it
literally,
affect you?
literally everything they were saying. I mean, it's the same thing. You get like teased from like everyone that is like, oh, like you're not really like that Mexican.
Oh.
It's like it's funny. Like you seen the Selena movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like you be Mexican American. You got to be more Mexicans than Mexicans,
more American than Americans. Yeah.
No, for real. I mean, and it is what it is. So I mean, I embrace it. Like it is like because I mean I understand why I am the way I am because like. So my grandpa worked in like Luby's all his life.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there for like 30 plus years, and man, racism bad. Like in Brownsville, you know, it's like you don't expect that. Like they're telling him like, "Hey, get to work, you wetback." Like, yeah, you know, and it's just like, dude, what? Like this is Brownsville stuff. And then my mom too. Like she goes to Texas. She went to Texas State, and it was bad. Like they're excluding her from stuff. Like she walks in like, "Oh, are you here to like for like the janitorial service?" Like, no, I'm a student. And it's like, oh, are you sure? Like,
No, yeah.
it's bad. No,
Yeah, because like, that happened here in the Valley. I mean, the Valley has a history where there was a school called Ecach also. And I think in the 70s, they had like a giant walkout because they were like my parents' generation, like when they were here. Like if you spoke Spanish in school, like they would literally hit you.
No, that's like, I mean, I think Brownsville was fine.
Yeah.
But my grandpa, because he grew up with that, like he instilled that into like my family where it's like, no, like we can't, not that it was bad, but it's just that we can't do that because I don't want you guys being treated the way I was treated.
Yeah.
So then that got passed down to me. But like now that it's being more accepted where it's like, it's okay to be diverse.
Yeah.
But it's just that kind of thing where like, you know, you want to err on the side of safe.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that what happened to like us, like where we were losing the Spanish language because like our parents spoke less Spanish than their parents. And now we're speaking less Spanish because of what happened to them. So I'm like, it's...
Yeah, it kind of just keeps receding, but it's like, and it's not because like, oh, I'm like, not that I'm not that we're ashamed. It's just that I think once we experience I think when Mexicans experience racism, it sets them back really far. Like, and I think that's what they're really scared of. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain because when I went to Miami, like I feel like so like you go here and you talk to someone in Spanish, or you talk to someone in English at the counter and they talk to you in Spanish. There's kind of like, you know, that understanding. Like I know what you're saying, you know what I'm saying, so we're just gonna keep going. But when I went to Miami, you know, they have like the Cubanos, the Puerto Ricans, and I talked to them in English, and they're like, "No hablas español?" And I was like, "Muy poquito, right?" And then there was like, "Oh, muy poquito inglés." So I was like, "Oh, great,
Great,
let's do this, man." So I mean, they're just very like, we don't care.
Yeah.
But I think Mexicans are just like, we don't want that. We don't want that for our next generation, you know?
No, I agree.
And I think that's
what are you thinking over there? I see you looking around. Oh, okay.
I think that's a common thing coming up like in our generation where it's like we're being more proud of our heritage.
You have something to say?
I have nothing to say. I can't relate to that.
Really?
Oh, I'm Filipino.
No, but just like the heritage thing, dude.
Heritage.
Where it's just like
it's okay to be
like a couple of years ago, like it would be like I said, like you would want to whitewash yourself so you can assimilate into like the white culture. But nowadays, I think it's becoming more acceptable to be like, yes, I am a different.
Because that's very common with Koreans, where like they try to like literally make themselves look more white. Like they have so much plastic surgery, like they even like have surgery for their eyes to make it look more white.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. Like a lot of things are getting like westernized, but for us growing up, we were grown up within our heritage, even though like we're still far from the Philippines because of our Filipino community. So I never really, with our second gen like friends, of course, but we never really felt like we need to be white.
Interesting.
That's interesting, yeah, because that happened to us. I was just curious because every immigrant has like their own story. So when it comes to the kids, I mean, the parents usually go through the hard struggle where you know they go through a tough time, and then the kids tend to have it a little bit easier, and then there's always the fear of like people losing their roots.
Yeah, like even my sister like she's white. My sister's whiter than me, right?
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
that's
crazy,
surprising.
right? But then she went to school in Iowa, and I mean, I was like, oh,
I was,
man.
yeah, I was.
He was like,
I've been
you-
over there, and it's kind of
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're great, you'll fit in. Nah, man, like people are telling her, it's like, are you Mexican?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like she
No,
got
yeah,
that
like,
really
over there
bad.
in Iowa, they were telling my uncle, like they were talking, like there was these white people, like they were talking shit about my uncle, like saying like, oh, like I bet you they're off like living off food stamps and a bunch of other stuff because they
Yeah.
thought that my uncle didn't know English, but of course he did, and like he told them stuff like it's very bad over there.
No, yeah. I mean, and it's just crazy. Like, I mean, dude, it's like 2022, man. I mean, when she's going to school in 2016, 2017, like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
what happened to the melting pot, you know? I mean, I recognize that that's easy for me to say, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a white male.
yeah.
Like, I may be Mexican, but I'm
you're,
a white
you're
male.
chameleon.
Yeah, like it's like my life is by default easier.
Yeah,
So I mean, I can only speak for what I've seen, like with my family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, these guys, like, I love that they're super proud of their heritage. I think it's so cool.
no, I think that's great. I think
So, I
that's
mean-
it needs to happen like more often where people
Yeah.
need to be proud of where they come from.
100%. Like, no matter, and I know it's very hard to say. Like, it's easy for me to say, right? So like, no matter the backlash, right? But like, it's hard. You can't understand it until you're put in their position.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, it happens, but I mean, things are moving forward like these. So,
Yeah.
in terms of that, like, and let's not get too political, but like, let's go to the music back again because I don't want to make it too awkward for you guys. When it comes to your music, I was trying to say something. Trying to remember right now. I got off topic right now because like when it comes to like my mind, like I don't like when it comes to the podcast in general, I don't script anything. So like sometimes I just go off my mind, and sometimes like I go off track because I'm like,
Yeah.
and it didn't help that I was drinking some of the coffee. So like for me, drinking caffeine is like really bad because it makes me go jittery.
Oh, no,
even
sorry.
though like I'm naturally like kind of like crazy a little bit, I guess that would be the word. So like caffeine just makes it worse.
Oh, me too. Me too.
What guys do you guys want to talk about? Like, I'm open to your topics. I mean, what do you guys want to discuss about your music? Like that hasn't normally been touched on, or like you wish people knew about your music?
What we wish people knew about our music.
Yeah, like something like you wish people would ask or talk about. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's topics where you wish you could talk about them, but like it never gets brought up.
Yeah, I think kind of like going into what Bobby was talking about like a while ago, I think part of the reason why like Filipinos don't experience like, or at least for us in my experience, like Filipinos don't experience as much racism is because like we look so much like we're like so ethnically ambiguous, so like
Oh.
and we speak English, so like we assimilate like very easily, and so like historically like we can really just like we've been called like Mexican, like it, like not that that's like a good or a bad thing, but that's just like a matter of fact. And so like we didn't experience it because like people didn't know that we were Filipino, and so I think like that's kind of like a goal of ours, to just like show like this is what a Filipino is, like this is like the culture, even though like our songs like aren't necessarily like super like Filipino pride, like talks about like the flags or like our independence or like history. I think just like creating stuff and then really enforcing that we like love being Filipino and our Filipino identity. We hope that like always comes through in our music, no matter what the topic. So
Out of curiosity, like this is more about like food. Like, what is like Filipino food like?
Oh,
Because you're talking about like spreading culture. What about your food? Like, what do you guys like?
It's sweet. If you go to the Philippines, everything is sweeter. So pizza, really sweet. Our wings are really sweet. The sodas are just way better over there. Everything is just our spaghetti.
Yeah.
You have to say like Filipino spaghetti, like differently than normal spaghetti because it's just a lot sweeter. It's good. It's really good.
Because I think it's only like one, like I only seen like one Filipino like restaurant in Edinburgh, I think. So I think so. Yeah. Is it actually good or no?
Yeah, it's really
Oh yeah, it's
Because like that's what I was
good.
asking you guys. Like, is it authentic or not? Like, is
No, it's not that.
it something? Yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys have like a drink that like you guys consider like the drink that you guys love? Like when it comes to like Mexico, the big pride one is Coke because our Coke is different. It's actually made with cane sugar. not made with corn syrup. Do you guys have like a drink that you guys like are proud of, like Coca? Yeah.
Our Coke is really good too. We had
Yeah, we get like
some
Filipino
magical.
Coke is, yeah.
Yeah, we were like in the mountains one time. Had this
Mountain Coke.
magical Coke over there. It's really good.
Is it literally Coke or is it just or is it soda? Because here we say Coke for everything.
No, like Coke, like
Literally
literally.
a Coca-Cola. Yeah, because we see Coke for everything, like whether it be a Sprite, a Dr. Pepper, like, oh, give me a Coke.
Oh,
so-
literally.
So it's literally a Coca-Cola or is
Well,
it,
like specifically that time, it was Coke.
Okay.
But, like all drinks over there are
Yeah, they're super
heavenly.
next level.
Yeah, I think it's like the same for, I don't know, like for most people, like Coke, like you just like, if you're having like a really good meal, like you want to have it with Coke. So I think like, I don't know if that's like a Filipino thing, but like my parents are always like, if we're eating something good, like you have to drink Coke. So maybe it's like,
And then we came back from the Philippines and we tried the Coke here and we're like,
it's nasty.
what is this? Like,
yeah.
Do they sell that's like anywhere nearby, like your version of Coke or any drinks?
I think the Mexican Coke is like very
Similar,
close to it.
yeah.
Yeah, because they use Sugar King rather than syrup. Over here they use corn syrup.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, it's what like it has like a kind of like a gunky or like weird feel like when it goes down your throat because it's easier for the U.S. to make. It has to do like with imports and like what's like weird political stuff, whatever. But like basically, it costs more to import sugar from Mexico compared to using corn that's already subsidized here in the U.S. Yeah,
That makes sense.
and that's why the Coke here is.
Like the manzanita is like all right, but then you get the Hoya manzana and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
oh man, that's a different story.
Yeah. Do they have like Filipino shops here in the valley or no? Because I
Yeah,
would love to check it out.
Well, we have an Oriental store in here in Brownsville, but the Filipinos call it the Filipino store.
course.
That's really nice.
I don't know.
Do you guys
I'm
have
not
like favorite snacks or something like that? Like
Oh, my favorite Filipino snack?
I gotta write it down later on.
I love piatos, chippy. Well, I think with like all Asians, like we just love like Asian snacks.
Yeah.
There's never like one that's specific to like our country.
Oh,
But,
prawn crackers.
What's
prawn
that? What's
crackers,
Oh, I like
Yeah.
like the shrimp. Like
Oh,
shrimp
problem.
crackers.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like anywhere like Korean chips, Japanese like candies or stuff like that.
I like
You know?
White Rabbit. I don't think White
Oh,
Rabbit
I
is
think that's like
Filipino.
Indonesian. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
What's that?
It's like a milk candy.
I didn't check it out.
Yeah, they're real creamy. So yeah, those are just like a couple things that we like to get. But I'm not familiar with like all the other Filipino stores in the valley. I
Yeah.
know there's one in Harlingen. There's a couple in McAllen. I know there's one on 10th Street.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it because the one a lot of people go to is the Seoul Market thing or Seoul Market. But that's more a
yeah.
Korean type
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that place is awesome.
Yeah, I used to go to it before when I was in McAllen, and back then it was like a really shady area. It was kind of like in a
Oh really?
Really?
yeah. It was kind of like it looked like a warehouse type thing where like the lights were like very dim, and I'm like, is this the right shop for that? It was kind of freaky because like it looked like you could get stabbed somewhere there, but then like they moved too far and it looks like a more modern store. I'm like, okay, this is
I bet the food was better when it looked in that shape.
yeah.
Like whenever like the restaurant is like in a more shady
Yeah, like a
place,
hole
like,
in the wall.
it's
Yeah.
It's so good.
Not that it isn't really good now, but I bet like when it was in that shady place, like
Yeah, because I remember going through there and like the freezers were all in the back, and the more you would go to the back, the darker it would get. And I'm like, is this the right place? But no, it was great.
That stuff's good.
I mean, that's what they also say about like Mexican restaurants, where like the worse it looks, the better the food is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably just because it's like not as like
They put more love into it.
Yeah, I guess because it's like closer to a startup, so like they really have to put the passion in her.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like they're not doing it for like
the
money.
aesthetic.
Yeah, like
They're
it's
just doing it.
you're doing it. Are you guys really into sports as well, or no? Because you're completely in Yankee stuff.
No, I just really
You're
like
a
the
fake
style.
fan.
I'm an Astros kid, like, but I wanted to
yeah,
get
this
canceled
is
today.
terrible.
Oh my god.
I know.
Come on, Astros fans, buddy.
No,
No,
there's nothing.
like
I
as
am
an
an
Astros
Astros.
fan,
Oh,
like
it's
to be
horrible,
wearing
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yankee stuff. Yikes!
It's okay, buddy.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens to me too. Where my family, they're all Cowboys fans, and like especially my uncle, like he's really into it. But then like I grew up more like liking the Green Bay Packers.
Oh my god.
So-
Yeah.
That's so no, but that's so weird. That's such a common thing here. I've like I don't understand where Green Bay comes from, but it's
Yeah.
like you're either a Cowboy fan or a Green Bay fan. I don't
Yeah.
know where that came from.
That are like also recently like the San Francisco, like that's been
Yeah,
the 49ers. Yeah,
I think that's so weird. Like I
don't
think
know.
there's a very big hub of Green Bay Packer fans in the valley.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean they're a pretty good team. I mean it's,
Oh, yeah.
they're not Tom Brady or anything like that. Where like they're really really good, but I mean like they're what's his name? Aaron Rodgers is pretty good. So like
100%.
I am in that hub. I love the Packers.
You know what I mean?
He's
Like, where did this
Is
come
really
from?
though? Nah, I'm just kidding.
I love the.
what
Packers.
sports do you guys follow?
Basketball.
Basketball?
mainly.
What about you? You don't follow any sports or?
Like it depends. Like sometimes it's like growing up it was basketball, but like recently baseball.
That's interesting.
Oh, and boxing.
Oh,
Boxing.
boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Okay.
not as
Lot of
much because
boxing.
Manny Pacquiao retired. But yeah.
Yeah.
Was there like a
we're-
huge pride for Manny Pacquiao or?
Oh,
Oh my
of
God.
course. That
like when
those
that
are-
guy got knocked down, like I swear I went into like a 2-day like serious like black hole of like I cried and for what? Like yeah. So
Yeah,
It's
'cause
just a
it-
lot of pride. Like I think for our generation, like one thing that we will like always like remember are like Pacquiao parties.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Filipinos getting together to watch Pacquiao fights.
Because even here in the
Yeah.
valley, a lot of people would support him. Like there would
Oh,
always
yeah.
be a bunch of barbecues, and like anytime I would go down the road, like everybody would like bring out a projector, have barbecues, and like they're watching the
Yeah.
fights.
Okay, so we literally had a gig, right?
Mhm.
And we're playing, and the gig's over. And you know, like after the gig, I like my thought process is like, all right, these people heard what we did, and now like we want to market ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to talk, and these guys are rushing, man, and I'm like, yo, like everything's
Yeah.
good, chill. What's happening? He's like, dude, the Pacquiao fight's about to start. Like we gotta go, like right now. I was like, you're joking, right? And then even before this, they were like, I don't think we can do the gig, and I was like, what's going on? The Pacquiao fight, and I was like, there's no way you're serious right now. Like, and they're like, no, yeah, man, we gotta watch that fight. So no, these guys, like
Yeah, we
any
go crazy.
Filipino, like any person that represents the Philippines, boom,
Going
they're
for it.
there for it. Like, I think 200% is an understatement of how much they're there for.
No,
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we claim like every like tiny thing of Filipino.
yeah. Like
Hey.
it's because Filipino representation is so like sparse, like anywhere. So with Manny Pacquiao, he was really like the first like global Filipino
Oh,
that's
yeah.
known. So I think like,
Everybody loved.
yeah, everybody loved Manny Pacquiao, and so like in the Philippines, whenever Manny Pacquiao would fight, like the crime rate would literally drop. Like
To zero.
nobody,
Wow.
like
To
nobody
zero.
would commit crimes because they were busy watching the Pacquiao fight. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I mean, like it's really cool to see that like Filipinos are like coming out in media. Like Olivia Rodrigo's half Filipino, Sweetie, who else? Her,
Bruno,
Bruno
Vanessa
Mars.
Hudgens.
So
Haley Steinfeld.
You guys need to send me a list of them because I need to check them out.
no, yeah. I think like for most Filipinos, like Rico said, like if they have like any drop of Filipino, sorry, that's me.
Oh, okay, I'm like, is it my
Yeah,
phone? Or?
any drop of Filipino, like we know who it is and we support them
To the
like
max.
crazy.
The next.
Yeah.
Who's the current person that you guys are like all looking forward to, like or looking towards? Is there anybody like who took over like Manny Pacquiao's like status of like everybody needs
like
to support?
sports what?
Whether it be sport or anything, honestly, like sports or music or anything.
I feel like not like to like Filipinos, but like Filipino Americans. Like
Mhm.
everybody's just like looking towards if you're like a part Filipino, like
Yeah.
we'll follow you. Like Jalen Green
Mhm.
from the Rockets. Like a bunch of Filipinos are on that guy. A lot of Filipinos are on Olivia Rodrigo. Like,
Oh,
just
she's part
people like
Filipino
that.
or
yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
Yes, she is.
Okay, that's cool.
I think an even recent one that like we found out was in do you know the show Euphoria?
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, so like I guess like people were looking for like a Filipino character, and then we found out Dominic Fike was part Filipino.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And so we're like, holy crap, like we got it. Dominic Fike?
He's a
He's the
musician.
one that sings Green Lights and
Oh my
Three-
gosh,
three nights.
Oh,
Three
three
nights.
nights. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I hope
Yeah.
he understood.
He was confused.
I was like,
Yeah. We don't. There's not a lot of Filipinos in sports. Like, hopefully that changes.
Yeah.
what? Y'all had the weightlifting champ.
Oh.
Yes.
In the
Who
Olympics.
else?
Heck yeah.
Heidelin Diaz.
That was like what? That was the
That
Philippines'
was the
first.
first gold medal that
Yeah.
we've ever
Oh, wow.
It
received.
was in weightlifting, baby. That's what's up.
Damn.
Yeah.
But sports.
We're on the up and up.
Heck yeah.
So hopefully we ride that wave. of
No, yeah,
like
you gotta ride it.
Filipino
You have to get all as far as you can.
Filipinos being trendy. We're trying to ride
Yeah,
that wave.
I don't know.
I think we're almost there though.
No, I don't know if you guys know. So there's this award-winning like talk show. Last week tonight
This week tonight
with John
that is
Oliver.
John Oliver, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but he does like segments like that are like it's not like what'd you say big news, but it's like important topics, right?
Yeah. Or
He
usually,
did-
like big topics. Yeah.
Yeah. He did a whole segment. So like he was like, "There's so much news going on. I have to do two big stories." So the first story was like on like the Abortion Act, and the second story was on the Filipino elections. So like,
Whoa,
and this,
really?
Let's not talk about this.
Let's not do that.
but like, no, that's but like I'm saying like this is like award-winning television, primetime television,
Covering those topics.
covering your topics.
Yeah, no. I mean, as far as Filipino elections, like that's a very controversial topic. But I think people definitely know more what a Filipino is, and that's really cool.
No, yeah, and he was like, no, he was advocating for like yo guys hardcore. So I mean, I think that's so cool that like you're saying like it's becoming more mainstream or not just like it's getting more
more attention.
more attention. And yeah, so I mean like this dude has won so many Oscars for his award for his show, and he's like talking about that.
I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, the Filipino elections. Yeah,
That was a lot.
yeah, Let's not.
Let's not. Yeah.
No, we really might get. No, we might get blacklisted if we.
Oh no, I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
Yeah. So.
Because for the longest time, I mean, like in terms of the Asians, like the mainstream has always been like Japanese, Chinese, like with Jackie Chan and then what anime and all that stuff. Like but like now that Filipinos are also getting into the mix, I mean that's great for you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
very
yeah, it's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, especially in the music industry too. Like, what is it? What are the things? Not the Oscars, but like the awards.
Grammys?
Oh, the Grammys. Like the Filipino artists are getting the Oscars. Or what is it called? The
It's
Grammys.
Grammys.
The Grammys. They're getting the Grammys.
Yeah, Bruno Mars, Saweetie, her, Olivia Rodrigo.
I mean, her is huge, man. Her is great.
what's genre what does she do or he do? I don't know. Like with
Olivia
Her?
Rodrigo.
Her.
no, her.
She
yeah.
does R&B.
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 R&B soul. She really has that like. She has that like classic R&B soul feel.
Oh,
of, like,
okay.
I would say like not soul like before Soul Train,
Mhm.
like between that like the not the Soul Train era, but the post Soul Train era where like the darker Soul Train era, like Black Panther kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she also has that kind of modern funk fusion into it with a
Mm.
good production into it.
No, I need to listen to her because like my genre has always been like classic rock. So like that's what I always grew up
Yeah,
with.
man.
So like I'm trying to expand like my genre in terms of like not just like even when it comes to like musicians I've been covering, a bunch of them have been like pop, indie, or rock. So like you guys are a little bit different because what would you guys label your music like? What would be your genre exactly?
I don't know.
No. I think you guys can label yourself OPM, honestly. If it
Okay.
was,
I don't know.
because you sound like it.
Uh,
It's very like you don't fit. I don't think you fit into like any like American folk or pop.
maybe I think it's because the two songs that we have out right now, they're like very different. I would say.
It's not anything that anyone would. It's not something you hear on the radio. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
No, that's why like I'm trying to expand like the genres and covering. Like now I'm gonna have some rappers on. I'm gonna have there's other artists. I don't want to offend them right now. Like because everybody has like different labels. Like whether it be a bedroom pop and a bunch of other stuff. So like I'm trying to expand with the genre. So like when you guys talk about like this other music, like I want to get into it because I want to expand my palette basically.
No.
We're more on like the singer songwriter
Yeah.
vibe,
Mhm.
a little folksy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I think because it's a combination of all our styles, it's like hard to label because some songs.
What
sound more
what got
like
you guys
I was-
into folk music?
OPM music.
Yeah.
OPM.
Yeah.
It's very folksy.
Oh yeah, I liked folk music growing up. So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, for us, like it's always either classic rock or like Mexican music. It's one of those two where it ping pongs between that. So like the fact that you guys grew up with folk, I mean, that's something that's different. You know, that's good.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I think my choir teacher, Miss Erickson, who is kind of like all of our teacher at some point. Even like
Wow.
Cody, who was like she was never like actually his
Teacher.
his teacher. Like she taught you in some ways.
Yeah, for sure.
But she really like encouraged our love of like lyrics and like melodies and stuff. So her name is Melody. So yeah, I think like that's also why we like write in the way we do. That it doesn't have to like be like some kind of like belty song or like super skilled, as long as like it portrays like the message that we want to put out. Yeah, I think that our common teacher.
Yeah, and I think that's something that like we're working on too, because we're new musicians, and like we're getting into like the jazzier side of it. So that means like finding like really weird chord progressions, finding weird rhythms and stuff like that. But like in the real world, like you don't like see a bunch of like jazz songs that are like global hits or something like that.
Right
You
now,
see more-
rap and R&B is like the
or
main.
you see like more of like the 4-chord songs that are like making it. So I think something that, well, personally that I've learned is like people are like more looking towards like lyrics, or just like vibes in general.
Yeah, that's what I've been like talking to like other musicians where like I wish there was more like storytelling in songs, because like another genre I love is country music, but like specifically like older country songs, because they legit have a story within the song. It's not just something you vibe to. Because I mean, obviously you should have music where you club to or dance to, but like I also love like listening to stories.
George Strait, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that or like another one I left is Kenny Rogers.
Oh, Kenny Rogers.
Even
yeah.
though like some of the songs are very depressing.
Yeah, like our Kenny Chesney songs, man. Oh, those are so sad. But earlier you had asked like what's something you wish people paid attention to.
Yeah.
I think definitely that. I wish people would pay attention more to our lyrics, man. Because so personally, like, you know, I grew up like old classic like jazz, Frank Sinatra, G. Martin,
Oh, yeah.
like the Rat Pack kind of stuff, and then country, like you're saying, George Strait, Kenny Chesney, Brad Paisley, the classic rock, Zeppelin, Doors, all those guys, The Dead.
Yeah.
But with all that music, man, like when they showed me OPM, like that's the most relatable music I've ever heard. Like it's like you hear a song and it's like yes. And then these guys too, like it's because they're just speaking from the heart. Like this is like you people like in our generation, and it's like this is what we're feeling at the time. And it's like you listen to the music and it's like, yeah, man, like this is totally relatable. I wish people would pay attention more to that. Like it's just like, dude, we have like this music that we know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like-
Is there any specific lyrics that you guys are really proud of? Like that you wish people would like pay attention? Like, hey, I put my heart and soul into these lyrics. Is there like any specific words that like you really love?
I don't know, but we do have a song where whenever we play it, we have at least one person like coming to us after the show, like crying. Like,
Oh my god.
oh my gosh, I really felt.
There was one show where like I was like in the audience because I couldn't make it for that one. I like came in like at the end.
Yeah.
And they sang like one of the like I don't know if it's the same song I'm thinking about, but they sang like this one song and my friend just next to me is bawling.
Oh my god.
And I was like, that's so cool, you know? Like I think that's why we do this, you know?
Yeah.
You want the music to touch the audience the way like you have like this emotional feeling, and it's like, man, like I want to be out there and be like, look, I get you.
Yeah.
And then the audience can be like, yeah, like they get me. Like I'm not in this alone.
You're not alone. Yeah, I think that's like where music really gets people together. Where there's like a sense of unity, like when you're at concerts and all stuff or gigs.
Yeah, man.
Like you finally get to hear people put the emotions that you're trying to put into words, like into a song. So like
Yes.
you feel like you're being heard. Like you feel like you're not struggling alone.
Yeah, I think that's the point of music, man. It's to drop, it's to give, it's to make people find that love within one another and connect everyone together.
I think
Okay, go on.
John Baptiste was saying like he reached a point where like there's like no like best musician, like music is like it's rewarding because like music is really about like reaching out to the person that needs it at that time the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean he was saying like, you know, like all the pop stuff is like mainstream, but hey man, shout out to John Baptiste for winning best record. This man is Juilliard trained. He is like, I think I mean between like him, Robert Glasper, I think those are like some of the best modern piano guys there are there. I mean, he did the music for Soul. This dude is like, he's making jazz mainstream. You know what I
that was
mean?
that was a great movie.
Oh yeah. And then I met a guy who he was on ABC. He was on ABC News. His name's Brian Carter, and he has 3 songs. He just put 3 new songs out. And he's saying the same thing. Like, I want kids to be like, oh my God, this is jazz music?
Yeah.
Like, what? And he's like, yeah, like it's not what you think it is. Like, and then especially like what these guys are saying, like, we want to make it more jazzy. And it's just like, yeah, we just want to make it more intricate, not more intricate and complicated, but just like music that doesn't just appeal to the masses, you know?
Yeah.
Like music that appeals to like, oh my God, like I can get down to this and I can dance to this. And the musicians are like, oh my God, did you hear that? Like resolved chord and that fill change? And it's like, everyone else is like, all right, weirdo. Like, chill.
How do you guys try to like balance that? Where like you obviously want to get your name out there, but like you're also doing music that's kind of like niche. How do you try to like balance that off?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think something that my sister says, like our music is like people tend to follow our music because our music is like generally pleasing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like good to the ear. Like there are some songs that are like really intricate or like really vibey, but like you wouldn't really like sing along to it. And not that those songs are bad, but I think just because like those are like our kind of favorite songs, that ends up being the songs that we make. So yeah.
Like there's the songs where we finish playing, it's like, man, we just did that. That's what's up. Did you see that? Did you hear that? And the audience is like, then you play Dancing Queen, man, and it's like I played the same 5 chords for the 2 minutes, and I played the same beat for 5 minutes, and I was like, yes, I love ABBA, and it's like, dog, are you serious?
Oh my God, no, yeah, I get you, because that happened to me when I went to Dankfest here recently,
yeah.
And there was the band 10 Foot Overhead.
Yes,
I love their music.
Really?
Yeah. And it so happened that most of the songs they played were covers, and of course, like they had to balance like the crowd pleasing songs and then like their original songs. So they only did one original song, and I was the only one like singing along to it. And I looked around, I'm like, does nobody know their song?
So the drummer, the original drummer for 10 Foot Overhead, he was my snare leader when I was a freshman, and when I was in 8th grade when I played with them. But yeah, I mean, I love those guys, man. I've been following them since their first album came out.
I followed them probably like last year because I really got into the music scene. Yeah, and like their music is really good. Like I mean, they're like one of the top ones. Like I told George like how many times like I sang along to Morningside.
Morningside.
Because I mean it's a really good song. Like they actually did like a music video for it and all that stuff, and then it's great music. And with your music specifically, like I think I'm not trying to like criticize you guys, but I think it's like maybe because it's a little bit hard to listen to like lyrics where like it's harder to sing along. I'm not sure if it's the production of it or like because I'm bad with words obviously, but like there's something about your song where like I love vibing to it, but like to listening to the lyrics is kind of hard. I'm not sure what that is. Have you guys like listened to your songs on Spotify or no?
I mean, I have bad diction personally, so I think that's part of it. And then I think that like Picture Perfect specifically, like it's very like fast, and so it's hard to.
Oh yeah, that one.
Even we get tripped up on our lyrics.
That one we were like really trying to like kind of be like fancy with it, I guess, especially like instrumentally. Yeah. With Perks, Cody was like working with this like chromatic thing, and then with Picture Perfect, I was working with like a time signature thing, and then just like a bunch of wordplay. So I would understand like why it'd be like hard sometimes. Yeah. But I think.
But that's also what makes you guys stand out at the same time.
The whole going back to the whole balance thing. With us like we do play a lot of covers, but like lately I think like personally I never really liked doing like covers that much because I think it. I don't want to be known like as like a.
As a cover band.
Yeah, as a cover band. Like I want to be known for our music. So and like if we ever do a cover, I always tell Bobby like, oh, like we have to make it. Literally. We have to make it our like
your own,
like, our own way.
I'm like, why can't we just play what the track does? And he's like, no, we have to play. We have to make it our own. And at first I was like, this is so annoying. Yeah. But after playing with them for like a while now, it's like, okay, I know what that means now. Like, you know, you get the style of the band, you get like what they're doing, and it's like, okay, I got you.
when it comes to your gigs, I haven't like made one yet, but like, are you guys like just playing your music, or are you guys also performers? Because I noticed something where like some musicians here in the valley, they play their music and they're great instrumentalists, but like they don't actually put on a show. Like they don't have like any like style to it. Like, do you guys do that or no? Like,
It depends. It depends on where we're playing. So coffee shops, you can't really do it.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did it like we sometimes do it, but yeah, if it's like a more chill vibe, like you can't really like perform out there because like it's just like too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. There's this one time we played like a talent show, so we really had to like perform for that one. When we play in Houston, when we opened up, we have to perform for that,
yeah,
not just play. But yeah, it really just depends on
the venue. Okay, yeah, because I'm curious because I mean I love like since like I grew up with classic rock. I mean they play their instruments, but they also put on a show. Like they dance around, like they do a bunch of other stuff. Where like the big one being Michael Jackson. I mean, yes, he would sing, yes, he would like play some instruments, but like he literally would dance on stage and make a giant performance.
Oh,
It wasn't just playing your music.
Yeah.
We're definitely working on it. Like I said, like I'm an introvert, so like it's kind of like hard for me to do that stuff. But I think like we're definitely capable. Like Rico is a dancer, Cody is a dancer. I'm not, but
No, she can definitely dance.
I do TikTok.
You can put some
dances.
movement to it.
I did TikTok
Yeah, I can TikTok dance. Like, yeah, but it's something that we really want to work on, like the performance aspect. But like Rico said, like the kind of gigs that we do, it's not really like the space for that.
Yeah.
Especially like for coffee shops, like
You have to
I
be
don't
some
really
like a
wanna
chilled
see,
out
like,
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, but on a different side, like because like we have like a chill space, like we can really like talk about the background of the song, like how the writing came to be, and so that's been cool. So I guess like they get another look into the song.
Yeah. But we're definitely working on it. For me, not trying to make excuses, but it's so hard to put on a performance with like being like playing the piano. Like you have to stay in the same spot.
That's understandable. Yeah.
And like the only thing you can use is like your face or just, like, but Cody can like jump around. My sister too.
I only like
Bobby can put
occasionally.
on a show like all the time.
Yeah, drummers always look cool.
Yeah.
So he's got it in the back. But yeah, it's something we want to work on. Hopefully, we'll like have more opportunities where we're able to show it.
Yeah. What have been some of your best like I guess like memorable moments in terms of gigging? Like have you had any shows where like you had like this like one of the best moments ever or standout moments?
They're kind of like mishaps that happen. So like we do like the rooftop gig in McAllen.
Oh yeah.
And Bobby forgot his like the carpet to put his drums on. He forgot like his little drum key to tighten some stuff. So like there like you could like it's probably still there like on the floor there are like scratches.
Oh my god.
Because like like when he's like stomping on his pedal like it's like moving and so
Yeah,
What
I'm, like,
happened that
playing-
day? Or
I mean, I was playing because literally before that day we had the gig, I had an interview for a college. I had an interview and audition for a college. So I'm literally in my living room interviewing on Zoom and auditioning. And like they're outside my house just waiting for me to be like, okay, let's go and back up.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm on drums, right? So I have everything mic'd up. I got my EQ set. I got everything mic'd. And it's like, all right, now we gotta break down, put it away and go.
Yeah.
So we're in a hurry. So I'm like, dude, I forgot the carpet, man. So then I just put like the screws all the way out. So hopefully it could like get some traction.
Yeah.
And I forgot my key because like I had given them my keys to just pick up the stuff. And then they were like, no, like the key's at home. And I was like, oh, dang it. Like my drum key's on there, right? So then I'm like trying to figure out what am I gonna do. Honestly, one of my proudest moments as a drummer, man. I'm there and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because like my beater needed to be tightened with my key to put on my drum. So then I'm looking around. I'm like, hey man, I can use that. So I go grab this big old roll of duct tape and I put the beater in there. And I like duct tape it on there. Oh man, it stayed on there the entire show.
Yeah, I mean if it works.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is the proudest thing I've ever done.
No, yeah, like, cause like I wasn't never in a band like you guys, but like I was in marching band and like I would have a couple of mishaps. And there was this one time where they were teaching me how to play snare drums, cause I was always playing bass drums. So like all you do is just hook it onto your thing, whatever. But like with the snare drum, like you're supposed to put it onto like I don't know what kind of like thing that holds it, ever.
Yeah, you have to like it depends. I don't know if you guys had like a Mapex or a Pearl.
Yeah.
But I think the one you're describing has like the one. Right
yeah, the
here.
one thing that's for the bass drum. So like I was always used to bass drum. I was never
Where
used
you
to
hook it
snare.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was for like a regular stand. So like when I put it on it, it popped the bottom part like. And then and since like it was during the summer band camp, nobody was there, and besides me and the band director, so you see like a bah, and I'm like, oh no, and and the band director looked at me like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know, and like it's because like I'm not used to like how the snare drums like how they put their stands. I don't know how it is where if you put it incorrectly, it actually pops the bottom where it's like a very like thin plastic or I don't know what it is.
So it's like. So the way you put it on is like I think it sounds like you use like what we use like today is like so there's like two little holes you have right here, and it's supposed to go in like these two little bars.
Yeah.
And then you have an adjustment to see if you so you can angle the snare whichever way. But if you get it like right on that little spot, man, it'll pop the head because the resonant head on the drum's so much.
That's
thinner.
exactly what happened. I'm like, oh well, I'm no longer playing snare. I'm gonna stick to bass drum.
That's funny, man. No, we have those scares where it's like we're putting it on, and it's like, oh man, like, and then you realize like the head's like literally on, or you put it on and you feel it like, touch it and you're like,
What kind of other mishaps have you guys had?
this past
Or
one
you guys
we
are really
had-
professional.
They happen in church. My piano falls.
Oh, how did that one happen?
I was playing too hard. Mishaps? Nothing really.
Oh,
okay. This guy.
Just like.
I mean, like sound stuff,
Yeah.
but
Just like feedback.
that is like not.
It's not like
it's not really like our.
Oh, like
fault.
us? No, but it's just like things that happen
Yeah.
to us. Like this one, like this past gig, I think this most recent gig we played, we did like this Disney mashup. And when we're changing songs, there's this one part where we change, like to this Hercules song, Zero to Hero.
Yeah.
And Cody's supposed to bring us in, and he has like a guitar like da na 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 na, and like I go off of his tempo.
Yeah.
I can't hear the guitar at all.
Oh no.
So like we start this, like before we start the song, I'm like, hey Cody, I can't hear you, and he's like, I can't hear me, and I was like, let's do this, man. So we get to that part, and I'm like straining to hear his guitar, and I was like, oh, please let this work. But that was literally everyone's favorite song, so it ended up working out.
It works out.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's really. Honestly, I think our mishaps turn into our best performances.
Yeah.
for sure.
We're really good at like pushing through.
because like it forces you to do better because like you gotta correct yourself.
Yeah, it forces you to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let's play it on the spot, man.
And then there's just the occasional voice cracks. But you know,
Oh,
you
Rico
get used to
always
it.
like, okay, he doesn't always, but sometimes he plays in like a crazy key where I'm like literally whistling things. So like there are sometimes, but honestly, like it's because like personally I like hate practicing. Like
Yeah,
they're
she, like-
really good at practicing, but because I don't play an instrument, like I'm like really lazy, so I like won't practice. And then also like my voice gets like worn out really fast, so sometimes like I won't practice with them, and then so like we won't get to practice like keys and stuff. But we're like I said, we're like really good at doing stuff on the fly.
That's the jazz part of you guys.
Yeah, I know. Like earlier, you had mentioned like you had forgot to play songs. I think that's something like we try like not to learn how to play songs, but just learn how to play in general. So that like when we're like, okay, like or we're playing this song, it's this style, and so like it's very easy to just like switch to that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like we don't really practice. It's really
We don't
bad.
practice as much as we should.
We used to practice a lot.
We used to practice a
Hopefully
lot.
it doesn't show.
That was at the beginning, but
That's-
then like now because we like got used to it.
Yeah,
And
and
Like-
we're like so I think in tune with each other that like we can actually like do stuff on the fly, and it's pretty good.
I feel like it's like a natural thing where like even with work, like when I work, because I work at Home Depot, and like the first couple of weeks, like you try to put in your best work, like you try to like get the best customer service. You try to do your best, and then after a while, you're like,
yeah,
like you realize like, well, you don't really have to push yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's also like I said, like when I started like understanding what their sound was, then I started figuring out what it was. I mean, then it was like whenever they would like start playing like certain things or start playing a certain way, I was
Oh,
like, okay,
yeah.
I know what's coming up.
yeah. We really feel that now, and also like me and Cody, we don't like to practice that much either because like we ended up like being able to develop like hearing things by ear.
So cool.
So
That was going to be my next question. Like, did you guys just learn through like sheet music traditionally, or do you guys actually like?
no, actually, like I like can't read music anymore.
Oh wow.
So
I'm gonna show that to
yeah,
literally every director right now.
we.
I'm gonna show that
yeah,
1 second clip to every director right now.
we learned like how to read music on piano. So like I can like still like somewhat do it, but it's like a lot slower than what it used to be, because we developed that ear. Like so, like,
Yeah.
me and Cody like hate looking up like chords on like guitar tabs.
Yeah, they're like so elitist about it.
Oh my god.
It's so cool though, man. It's so cool. I love watching them like, okay, okay, this is it. I'm there like staring in
Yeah.
amazement, like,
Yeah, it's almost like a twin thing too. Like they'll just be like,
yeah,
no, it's
and then
this
they know,
one.
and then they know when to change, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
how did you guys
is
develop?
this?
How did you guys develop that? Where like you could actually like know like what note to play just by hearing it.
I feel like it's not that good yet, but like knowing
The
what
fact that you can
chord-
figure it out, I mean,
Yeah.
that's still.
yeah, man.
Yeah, for me, it was just like a lot of ear training and like when I was in choir, so like knowing different intervals, and then like just like putting that into piano, and then like knowing that like most of the songs are like same chord structure
Oh,
too.
okay.
So you get used to it. So just knowing, I don't want to get into the theory, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So like on like an octave, there's like 7, right?
Seven
so
notes,
1, 2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're back to 1.
Mhm.
So there's a 1, a 4, and a 5. Those are in major, so they're played a different way, and then all the rest are minor, but
Yeah.
then they can also be somewhat major too. So then like just getting like that like initial information, and then like adding more stuff as like I listen to more songs and like try to like, oh, what's this note? How come like it's not like right?
Yeah.
So like just doing that, and then like eventually incorporating it into our music, it just it gets like really easy over time.
Yeah, because it's an interesting gift. Because my grandpa could do that with guitar, where like he just listens to a song and he starts playing it. I'm like, how do you do that? Because like when I was learning music, like it was literally through sheet music. So I'll look at the notes. Okay, this is the letter. I'll write it down, and I'll just do it over and over, do it over and over again on pianos. Like that's how I learn. I mean, if I don't have a sheet of music, I can't play it. Like I need to look at it.
Oh, like and also for me, I learned that like, especially like if it's like a pop song,
Yeah.
like you don't have to play like what the song is, like the melody of the song. So, or like a Disney song. So like I'm gonna use Reflection from the movie Mulan. You don't
Yeah.
have to play da-na-na, da-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na. You can just play the chords and then you sing it yourself.
Yeah.
So that's something that helped me like learn how to.
Well, if you can sing it, if you don't know how to sing,
Or just like reading, like hearing it in your mind too is like it made things like a lot easier. It helps me like move forward in terms of like piano.
yeah. What about yourself? Like when it comes to like learning music, like how do you do it, or how were you taught, or
I mean, yeah, like you. I mean, I was so okay. So it's different. It's a little different. I mean, I was taught like you just to read the sheet music, read what's on the paper. But then from an early age, like, so I started like playing in 6th grade. I started playing like jazz drum set in 7th grade. It's not like that at all. It's very like they just have blank. They have blank like like the measures, and it's
Yeah.
like just play a groove. I'm like, what? So like 7th, 8th grade is me figuring that out. And then now it's just like they hand me drum set music and I'm like, no,
no?
I do not want this. Because it's just, so for me, it's like, I guess it's kind of like, I think what they do is so much cooler because they have to hear like
Yeah, I
movie
mean-
notes. Like, but I mean, I'll listen to a song and then I'll hear the beat. I'll hear like what the changes are, what the anticipations are, what the buildups are, where to back off, where to come on. And I mean, that's how I'll learn a song. I mean, but still like I'll bust out like a Tommy Ego book or a John Riley book, and it's
Yeah.
like let's see what the notes are, let's see what the masters are playing,
Yeah.
and let's see what they got going on. But yeah, I mean, like for drum set, nah, man, I'm not a sheet music person. I'll put the forms of the song, so like the first chorus, instrumental, solo, verse, chorus, like
Yeah, it's all feeling and
It's all
all
feeling.
just like if you go on guitar tabs, like sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
super
so
annoying.
annoying.
It's so annoying. And like you wanna, for me, like when I like go on guitar tabs and I like wanna like feel like the song a certain way, like, and then like I play that chord that's on guitar tabs, like that doesn't sound right. And then I listen to it and I play the right one, I'm like, oh. And then like you just like can't get it like on guitar tabs, and like guitar tabs is like
It's like surface level. That's why.
Oh,
It's like pitch to
Yeah.
the middle.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with guitar tabs, don't get me wrong. But I personally like listening to like the chords like they have like the main chords in it, but then you
Yeah.
also have like
The overtone
the
chords.
passing tone chords,
Yeah.
or just like the little melodies in
Mhm.
there too. I want to like hear that for myself, so that like you are playing that song.
yeah.
So yes, I like playing in general, like not just to a song, but like it's good to like know like, oh, it's that song.
Yeah.
It's not just playing.
What did you want to add on? So you're saying something.
Oh no.
Oh.
I already said it. I was just like the voicings in that chord. Like sometimes you can't get that in the regular chords that they put in guitar tab.
Mhm.
So like you really just find it yourself, and then like you, like
Yeah.
once you hear that chord, like it's also like into your own chord vocabulary, and then you can use that kind of chord into like things that you want to play or in other songs, and it's
Yeah.
like your creativity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
These guys are funny with
I
that.
know those. You're talented.
No, yeah,
I wish I could do that.
no, they're funny that way. It's like, okay, so it's gonna be like a B minor, then an F sharp, and it's like, okay, I can get that. And then it's like, but then it's gonna be like a G sharp diminished with a flat 9 and a sharp 11. I'm like, dog, like, and it's like, no, like the tabs literally just say it's like, you
Yeah.
know, a G minor. They're like, no. You need like the sharp. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. And it's like, but you can leave this part out. I'm like, nah, man, I'm just gonna play the drums.
Yeah.
It's because though it's what makes the song like that certain color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Like-
without that chord, that song is so boring.
Oh, okay.
But you need it. You just need it.
Yeah. It's like trying to like, if you have like a coloring book and you're supposed to paint like Ariel from The Little Mermaid and you make her hair blue,
Yeah, it changes everything.
yeah, it changes everything. So, or I think like a good example would be like with like Harry Styles Falling, the
Mm-hmm.
like you have to play that, like, and if it's just on guitar tabs and you're just like dun dun
Oh, yeah.
dun dun, like it's like a little boring.
It's underwhelming.
It's underwhelming.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, because when I was looking at music, like I wish I like okay, let's say you're trying to teach a person how to do that, like the playing from just through hearing it. How would you teach a person to do that? Because I'm interested in that.
It depends. For me, like I've only like experienced like trying to teach like choir kids, so
Mhm.
like using the solfege system of do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Yeah.
Like just translating that to piano. So do fa, that's like a 4, do so 5, and then like so do re mi fa sol la ti do. So you could do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. And so I say like, oh, just go to a 4, go to a 5. This is a 2. So that 4, make sure it's major. 5 is major. 2 minor. 3 minor. So I teach them how to play, not to play a song.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
because like me, I'm so lame. Like there was this person who came to the valley, Michael Sayer,
Uh-huh.
and he played a song called Lucky Love, and I wanted to learn it on piano. So like my lame ass, what I did was I got a song, I put it into like a program that like converts the sound forms into like a composition, and that's how like I was able to get like the chords for the song. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
I mean, it's cool that programs can do that, but like the fact that you can just listen to it and just play it correctly, I mean, I would prefer that.
So cool.
Yeah. Also, like trying like sheet music, it's like it's so specific. Like it's kind of annoying. Like too, like trying to get it right.
Hmm.
But like even if you just change like one thing, it's fine. Which is why guitar tabs was made too. But yeah, like you don't have to like play like the exact thing. Like you can make it your own, which is
Yeah.
what we like to do too.
Have any like out of curiosity, has any like movie music like influence your actual music or no? Because you had mentioned like Disney stuff and all that stuff. Like,
not like a specific movie, but musicals, yes. Disney, yeah.
I used Disney as an example, but like any other movies, like you know what? Let's incorporate that into our stuff.
Um,
I guess it's just like the style of it. Like you want that kind of style in your song. Like not necessarily like we want that like rhythm in there or like that melody in there. We are like that's like the picture.
Like, well, I guess the better question would be like, has there been any artists that you guys listen to? Like, you guys try to like pick up certain things from them. Like, you know what? Let me grab this from them.
Oh man,
there is. What's that theory term called? Like it's like a repeating thing, isn't it? Ostinato.
depend. The asana is like a repeating rhythm within the song. So like in their how their guitar has like the boom 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 boom.
Yeah. So I think Sarah Bareilles like uses that a lot. So that's something that I personally like going towards.
Yeah.
That's like the only one that like I know for sure. For Cody, I think a good artist for that he like looks up to is Sam Kim, a South Korean K-R&B artist.
Yeah.
His like chord structures, I think Cody tries to like match that like, quite often. Or like Gabe Bondoc is he's a Filipino guitar player.
Yeah.
So Cody will like try to like go towards that too.
What about you over there? Like, is there like certain artists that you try to like kind of emulate in terms of like your vocal music, like your talent?
I mean, I always say that, like, not on purpose, but because, like, I don't know, like, for choir, I definitely emulated the girl from, like, Phantom of the Opera. What's her name?
Amy Rosa.
Yeah, so, like, my choir voice is from that. And do you hear that? Do you hear that?
No, I don't hear it. I don't hear a choir voice in it at all.
Oh, he doesn't hear my choir voice. But anyway, I definitely, like, not on purpose. But her, and then... Like, I love Nick Jonas and
Yeah,
Sarah Bareilles, so...
Total 2000s kid.
Yeah, I love 2000s music, so do I, like, necessarily, like, take from them? No, but I feel like the way they sing, sometimes I try to match it. As much... Should I do my Nick... No, I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
No.
Please do it.
My Nick Jonas impersonation?
Of course.
Well, give me a song.
Not Red Dress. That I mean that's a classic though. Let's do that.
Do you listen to the Jonas Brothers? I'm like a hardcore.
I was never.
Really?
I was
Okay,
never
what do
into
you
the
want?
boy bands because you know
Okay,
that.
how about you know the song More Than Words?
Yeah.
Okay, try to do
More than words. Okay, wait. What's the chorus? Guys are getting nervous.
Saying I love you.
That's it.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do that Quesadilla song.
Oh,
The Camp Rock song.
Okay.
Okay.
so
I'm gonna like that. Okay, guys. I eat cheese, but only on pizza.
that's at the end was pretty nice.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty
so-
nice.
Okay, not that I like try to sound like that. Hopefully, I don't sound like that because that's actually horrible.
Whoa.
No, my impersonation
Oh.
is horrible. Would I ever
Like,
call
Nick
Nick
Jonas
Jonas
is
horrible?
great.
I love that
Never,
song, man.
never. But yeah. But as far as like writing stuff, Sarah Bareilles for sure, Z's. Recently Lizzie McAlpine, and then Ingrid Michaelson. I think they speak like a lot in metaphors, like turning metaphors, like simple metaphors into like
The whole song.
like a whole song. So like Ingrid Michaelson has this whole song about like snowmen, but it's really about like how nobody like stays in your life and they all like melt away. So I try to kind of do that.
I don't know voice wise.
Voice wise, I don't know.
I've heard a lot of
Okay.
people say you sound like Adele.
Adele.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's cool.
They've compared
That's
you
like
to
a
Adele.
crazy
I've heard a lot of
compliment.
that.
I mean, I welcome it, but yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely don't have like a lot of Filipinos have like the Beyonce, Whitney Houston
Oh yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
can't do that. Like I can't belt for my life.
guys are
So
insane.
Yeah, go to a Filipino party and like if they bust out the karaoke machine
Yeah.
and like you think you're about to go, Tito will go up first and then like slay like
Oh my God.
I got nothing, like super hardcore as if like they're like a professional singer before, but
Yeah.
they're just a normal person.
Oh my God. No, I'm glad you guys told me that because Paulo tried to invite me to a karaoke once. And like I can't sing. So now the fact that you guys are saying like you guys are really good, I'm like, oh, good thing I said no because I don't sing.
yeah, if there's one thing about like Filipinos, like
They'll perform.
we love those ballads. Like
Yeah.
I definitely like don't have that tone, but like I don't have that tone. But like
They put you in that situation.
yeah, they're like people always tell me like you should sing Whitney Houston or who else?
Or Never Enough.
Oh yeah, Never Enough. But that's because like a lot of Filipinos like can sing those things, but I personally can't. I think it's very cool. I think the Philippines has some of like the best singers.
Mm-hmm.
And the world don't know that.
Yeah, the world doesn't know.
The world needs to know
The
that.
world is finding out, but yeah, I think like the Philippines, like there's something in the gene, like they can really sing. It's crazy.
When I first told my sister, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm playing in a band. Like when I first started, I was like, I'm playing in a band with a bunch of Filipinos. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was in college, like all my Filipino friends could just sing beautifully. Like it's just a genetic
Even
thing.
even at UTRG, I would always see a group of Filipinos together playing with the guitars and like music box. They'll play in the lobby of the library, whatever. In the
Oh, that's the FSA crowd.
yeah, because I would go around and sometimes I'll listen to them playing music. I'm like, what's going on here?
That's
I'm like,
really funny.
yeah, they were always great. I'm like, that's why sometimes I would just stay in the library, like, you know what, let me listen to them. And
That's so
But it's
funny.
like it's funny because they're like not even they like do nothing music related. They just like messing around like that.
yeah,
So annoying.
because I think one time like they actually busted out a GameCube and they're playing Super Smash Brothers, and
Uh.
I'm like, what's going on?
That's FSA. That's FSA.
So I mean, time's coming up already. So the last question I usually ask my guest is, what was your favorite part of the podcast?
Oh,
I just like the podcast.
I just like
I definitely liked hearing about your goal with the podcast. I think
Mhm.
the work you do is really important for artists coming up in the valley. Like you said,
Yeah.
there's so much talent in the valley. It's just that
It's
yeah,
very hard to find.
yeah, it's very hard to find. And
Yeah, you really need to, as an individual, put yourself out there to make an effort to listen to music from the valley, because normally you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that that people don't support people who are not in the music scene in the valley, they don't support as much as those musicians need to. I think within the valley music scene, we're all very supportive of each other, but yeah, I think with stuff like this, the work that you do, it'll
Yeah.
definitely help bring the spotlight that those artists need, because there's a lot going on here, and I think people need to hear about it.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part,
Mhm.
just your drive to
I appreciate it.
musicians, yeah.
What about you?
Same
You
as-
could go down the line.
Yeah, same as her, and also having the chance to share our culture again.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's great. I appreciate that because I get curious about all that stuff because I want to learn about different cultures and all that stuff, and I appreciate you guys being so open about that stuff.
Yeah, the work that you're doing is really good.
Mhm.
I think it's very necessary.
I think you guys are more talented though. I mean, all I do is just get a camera, get the microphones, record you guys.
I
But
couldn't do I couldn't.
you guys have the actual true talent. I mean, come on.
No,
let's
I
be-
think
at the end of the day, you guys actually play instruments. You learn songs just by ear. I mean, you guys have the true talent. This doesn't take talent. I mean, to be honest.
No,
No,
I
it
think-
totally
For sure it
does.
does.
Coming up with stuff, I could never hold a conversation.
Yeah, you're
this
a
long.
great
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
Ever.
as a high schooler who has had many bad conversations, I can guarantee you, it is very hard to find someone who can have a good conversation and then veer off
right
track,
off the
go
bat.
back on,
Yeah.
and then keep going and take an uncomfortable situation and be like, let's talk about this, but
Yeah.
not to the point where it's gonna be uncomfortable for everyone.
Yeah, no worry. I don't want to get anybody canceled or anything like
Yeah,
that.
no, but
But yeah,
that's
because
the best
sometimes like those uncomfortable situations, like you have to talk about them eventually. I mean, that's the only way things get addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like how this is like not scripted as well,
Yeah.
and it's like you're just like really trying to get to know us too, and
Mhm.
like vice versa as well.
Yeah, because there's another person who does interviews and all they do is just like they have questions on on a piece of paper and they ask it line by line. So like let's say you see something interesting like ask you a question like how did you learn how to play music, and then you say like I learned from this person. The conversation ends there and then they ask you the next question. Like they're not paying attention to you. They're not listening. Like they're not asking for like follow up questions and all that stuff. So like it's not a natural conversation. It's not
It's not as organic.
Yeah, it's not. It's not organic. Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. It's just fun here sitting here and chatting, man. It's just fun sitting here talking like with these guys. It's always interesting to hear what these guys have to say.
No, yeah.
Because like I think we've been a band for like what, over
Almost 2 years.
almost 2 years, and like still some of the stuff they're saying, I'm like okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever heard your Nick Jonas impersonation.
It's only I only reveal it to my closest.
So like I mean yeah, just like I love hearing these guys. Like they're so smart and knowledgeable
Yeah.
about not just like music, about life and everything. It's just I love hearing them talk, and then just having you like. It's funny to have the band background, man, as a drummer. Oh,
Yeah.
it's funny. Like it's like having the whole popped head situation that we've all been in.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. So it's just cool to just sit and talk and share stories.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So thank you guys for listening. And the last question, one more question. Like, were you guys able to do the performance after all, or no? Like,
Yeah, I mean, what do you want us to like connect to our thing? Like how?
I mean, usually like it's the simplest just to do it acoustically. I mean, I think that's the easiest way to like record everything.
Sure.
Okay. Bobby, we have our.
Let's go on.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And now at the performance afterwards.
Thanks, guys.
When you said I was simple, what did you mean? Were you bothered my coffee is 3/4 cup of cream? I wear the same coat every winter. I eat way too much, then complain I'm not thinner. I still like Ed Sheeran, I know everyone does. We all love a melody, and maybe I'm someone who also writes songs with the same foot and chords. I'm sorry I couldn't be more simple, simple me. You simple-minded tragedy. example